Chapter 1. Yun City. Men's prison. July had arrived, heat waves rolled in, and the heat was unbearable. Standing at the prison gate, Tang Yi couldn't help but look back. 3 years have passed. His best years in this cage had been slowly consumed. 3 years ago, his wife's younger brother, Gao, had brought a devastating disaster to the Gao family. For the sake of the Gao family, he had shouldered all the blame alone and been imprisoned. Recalling the past 3 years, a complex look involuntarily appeared in Tang Yi's eyes. "Long time no see, man. How have you been? I'll see you soon." Tang Yi muttered to himself. His hand unconsciously went to his waist. An emerald green jade pendant hung from his waist. In these 3 years, his greatest longing was for his wife, Gao Manyue. And now, he had finally endured until his release day. Tang Yi could finally see his wife he had been longing for, day and night. Maybe, tonight the Gao family would even throw a welcome home banquet for him. Tang Yi was drenched in sweat. He had been walking alone with his backpack for quite a while. Even his clothes were completely soaked with sweat, and he still hadn't seen a car to pick him up. Could the date be wrong? No, that can't be right. Tang Yi gave a bitter smile and was about to hail a taxi. Just then, a limited edition sports car suddenly stopped in front of him. He saw the car door slowly open, but his wife Gao Manyue was not there. "Are you Tang Yi? I'm Li Shanshan, General Gao's assistant." The woman stated her identity directly. "Man, you must be here. It's so hot. She didn't need to get out to pick me up." A smile appeared on Tang Yi's face, and he excitedly reached out to pull open the car door. But just then, Li Shanshan waved her hand, stopping him. She glanced at Tang Yi and took a document from her handbag. "Tang Yi, General Gao is busy with important matters and couldn't spare the time to pick you up. Take a look at this agreement. If everything's okay, just sign it." As soon as she finished speaking, she handed the document to Tang Yi. Tang Yi took the agreement, feeling a little bewildered. But then his face suddenly stiffened. "This is a divorce agreement." Tang Yi suddenly looked up, staring blankly at Li Shanshan, his face full of disbelief. "Stop kidding me. I just got out. Why would Manu do this?" Li Shanshan looked coldly at Tang. "Tang Yi, you're just a convict with a criminal record now. How can you compare to General Gao? Do you really think she'd still be with you? Stop talking nonsense and sign it quickly. Don't cause any trouble for General Gao." Li Shanshan's tone was emotionless, cold as ice. At this moment, Tang Yi was thunderstruck. "A criminal? Doesn't the Gao family even think about how I became the criminal you call me? Who did I end up like this for these past 3 years?" Li Shanshan sneered. "Stop talking. Don't you understand? The Gao family isn't what it used to be. Under General Gao's leadership, Gao Corporation is thriving. The Gao family is now one of the top families in Yun City. Even now, the young master of Yun City's Han family is still persistently pursuing General Gao. Someone like you, fresh out of prison and a nobody, is worthy of her? Don't even dream about it." Tang Yi's pupils constricted. He suddenly looked up, a surge of immense anger rising in his heart. "I went to prison for 3 years for the Gao family. Now that I've been used, you're kicking me aside. 3 years ago, the Gao family begged me to take the blame. Have you forgotten what you promised back then?" Tang Yi's eyes were bloodshot, his breathing rapid, and his heart pounding. "Stop it!" Seeing Tang Yi's fury, Li Shanshan could no longer contain herself. "Right now, General Gao's status is worlds apart from yours. Be smart and don't pursue this any further. Don't worry, the Gao family won't leave your 3 years of sacrifice unrewarded. The compensation General Gao is offering is enough for you to live comfortably for the rest of your life." Tang Yi took the agreement and looked at it. Looking at the large characters for divorce, they were glaring in the sunlight. "Tell me, is this Gao Manyue's decision or the Gao family's?" He suddenly looked up, staring intently at Li Shanshan, and said, word by word, "Tang Yi, don't make a fool of yourself here." Li Shanshan's cold eyes swept over him. Unexpectedly, this worthless piece of trash is so ungrateful. Does she have to spell everything out to make him give up? Just sign it quickly. Don't think taking the blame for the Gao family gives you any hold over General Gao. General Gao has already given you face out of consideration for your past relationship. Otherwise, she would have divorced you while you were still in prison. Don't you see? General Gao's suitors are all wealthy and influential young masters. And you? Who do you think you are? If you still don't appreciate it, you'll face the consequences. Tang Yi paused slightly, and his heart went cold. Don't drag this out. Just sign it. Li Shanshan sighed, and her tone softened. But before she could finish speaking, a luxury car sped over and stopped beside Tang Yi. Then, a slender and exquisitely beautiful woman emerged from the car. Even in a black suit, her extraordinary presence was perfectly evident. Her delicate features were enhanced by light, subtle makeup, and she had an air of cool arrogance. That woman was none other than Gao Manyue, the wife Tang he had been longing for day and night. General Gao, why did you come in person? Li Shanshan quickly stepped forward, a hint of surprise on her face. Didn't you have an appointment with young Master Han? It's all right. Let's deal with this matter first. Gao Manyue cast a cold glance at Tang Yi. That glance made Tang Yi's heart sink. Even after 3 years, Gao Manyue was still as beautiful as ever. But her heart was no longer as innocent and kind as it once was. Tang Yi, you have indeed suffered for me and the Gao family these past few years. I will always remember your kindness. But our fate is over. We really can't be together anymore. Gao Manyue paused, then looked up at Tang. Hey, let's not torture each other anymore. Divorce is best for both of us. Although he was mentally prepared, hearing Gao Manyue say these words herself was still like a thunderbolt striking his heart. Being with me is mutual torture? A self-deprecating smile appeared on Tang Yi's lips. 3 years ago, when you asked me to go to prison for your brother, what did you promise then? Now that you've used me, you're turning your back on me. Is that it? Gao Manyue took a deep breath and said, Tang, don't you understand? The Gao family is no longer the insignificant little family it used to be. And I'm not the Gao Manyue you once knew. I'm the head of Gao Corporation now. Everything has changed. If I don't divorce you, the Gao family will lose all face. The Gao family's face? Tang Yi looked incredulous. 3 years ago, I went to prison for your Gao family, taking the blame for you. And now the reason for divorce is that I'll make the Gao family lose face. Gao Manyue composed herself and said calmly, the agreement clearly outlines what I can offer you. I'll prepare a house and money for you. I won't treat you unfairly. You'll get the garden villa downtown and 12 million. Also, the cafe where we first met, I bought it and it'll be transferred to your name as well. The cafe makes a decent profit every year. What I'm giving you is enough for you to live comfortably for the rest of your life. Just sign it. If you have any other conditions, we can discuss them later. In an instant, Li Shanshan, behind Gao Manyue, snatched the divorce agreement and slapped it hard against Tang Yi. With that, she handed Tang Yi the pen. Tang Yi, you should be grateful. General Gao has already done everything she could for you. General Gao divorcing you is also for your own good. Otherwise, young Master Han definitely won't let you off easily. Young Master Han signed a 200 million deal with General Gao to win her over. He's been a great help to her, securing her position in the company. If you're still ungrateful and keep causing trouble, you'll only make things worse for General Gao. As soon as Li Shanshan finished speaking, Tang Yi looked up at Gao Manyue. Gao Manyue's face turned cold, and she looked away. I'll sign. Tang Yi picked up the pen Li Shanshan offered. But I won't take a single cent of what you offered. From now on, I have nothing to do with you. Farewell. Chapter 2. Having said that, Tang Yi directly tossed the agreement to Li Shanshan. I've signed my name. Take care. He paused his gaze on Gao Manyue for a moment, then turned and left. Tang Yi, wait. Gao Manyue's voice sounded behind him. However, Tang Yi only paused the steps but didn't turn around. Gao Manyue sighed deeply, slowly saying, Tang Yi, if you feel that what I'm giving you is trampling on your dignity and you don't want it, then I won't force you. But I bought this coffee shop in your name, and it's also to put an end to our relationship. You must accept this. It's also to give you an explanation, so don't make me feel uneasy, okay? As soon as she finished speaking, Gao Manyue walked up to Tang Yi and handed him the agreement without hesitation. If taking it will make you feel better, then I'll take it. Tang Yi casually took the contract in his hand and then left. Looking at his resolute figure, Gao Manyue, who was usually decisive, was also stunned. Even though it was her who proposed it, at this moment, her heart actually felt empty. At this time, Li Shanshan walked to Gao Manyue's side and said softly, "President Gao, it's almost time we should go. We still have to attend a banquet with young Master Han tonight." "President Gao, the company still has things waiting for you to handle." Urged by Li Shanshan, Gao Manyue finally came to her senses. A hint of hesitation flashed in her eyes, but she still got into the car with Li Shanshan. The car started and slowly drove in the opposite direction. Gao Manyue watched Tang Yi leave from the rearview mirror. During this time, Tang Yi didn't even look back once. Soon, Tang Yi's figure disappeared from sight. Gao Manyue's heart sank to the bottom. After a slight hesitation, she turned to Li Shanshan and said, "Shanshan, am I going too far by doing this?" Li Shanshan glanced at Gao Manyue, seeing her pale face, and couldn't help but sigh. "President Gao, you've already done enough. Tang Yi is someone with a criminal record. We've already given him enough. When you married him, he was penniless. Now, just this coffee shop is enough for him for the rest of his life. He was in prison for 3 years. The Gao family has already done its utmost." But before Gao Manyue could finish speaking, Li Shanshan interrupted. "Don't worry. In the end, it's all because Tang Yi is too useless. Think about it carefully. You've been with you for so long. Apart from helping you take the blame, what else has he ever done for you? These 3 years, President Gao, you've worked day and night. Has he ever helped you share your burdens? If Tang Yi could help you like young Master Han, I'm sure you wouldn't leave him." Li Shanshan paused and said, "President Gao, the company still needs you to lead it in the future. We have to look forward. Having young Master Han as your backing is definitely an excellent opportunity for our Gao family. We will definitely reach a higher level in the future." "Yes, Shanshan." Under Li Shanshan's persuasion, a glimmer of light finally flashed in Gao Manyue's eyes. "No matter what, people have to look forward. We can't dwell on the past anymore. If we get through this, I will carry forward the Gao family. Let's go back first. We'll go find young Master Han tonight. It's time to talk about that order from before." The car sped away, quickly leaving the prison. However, they didn't notice that the prison was under unprecedented security. At the same time, the prisoners and even the prison guards in the prison gathered inside the prison exit, staring at the prison gate. Everyone was lined up neatly, standing quietly in the square. It was unexpected that these usually unrestrained guys would be so cooperative. Even the prison guards were the same, without a single complaint, standing in the hot sun. Even though their clothes were already soaked with sweat, they didn't have any dissatisfaction. Everyone stood there, watching Tang Yi leave. Being able to see such a scene, their lives could be considered an eye-opener. Chapter 3. Inside the Gao family mansion. News of Gao Manyue's smooth divorce from Tang Yi reached the family immediately. For a time, the entire Gao family was filled with jubilation. "Well done, finally rid of that good-for-nothing Tang Yi." Right, Manuel was too kind. If she had been more ruthless from the start, she could have divorced him when that guy Tang Yi went to prison. Exactly. Our Gao family has been dragged down by him all these years. If it weren't for him, Manuel would have married young Master Han long ago. Manuel did well this time. Inside the Gao residence, young and old alike, all wore joyful expressions, excitedly discussing the matter. They seemed to have completely forgotten Tang Yi's contributions 3 years ago, how he saved the Gao family in a critical moment. Otherwise, the Gao family's current splendor would be long gone. 3 years had passed. The Gao family truly demonstrated the fickleness of human relationships to the extreme. Man, Tang Yi agreed to the divorce so readily. "Did he ask you for anything, Mr.?" Gao gave him the garden villa in the city center, 12 million in savings, and a coffee shop. Li Shanshan spoke before Zhang Wanqing could. "What? That's too much." As soon as Li Shanshan said this, the expressions of the Gao family changed abruptly. Gao Manyue's mother, Chen Lanxiang, also jumped up from the sofa. "Gao Manyue, do you think money grows on trees? Why should you give that boy so much money? He spent 3 years in prison, and he gets 12 million just like that?" Chen Lanxiang was furious, cursing loudly. Man, although our family is wealthy, we can't waste so much money on a useless person." At this time, Gao Manyue's younger brother, Gao Qingbin, had a bitter expression on his face. Sis, Mom said she was going to give me that coffee shop. It makes so much profit every year. Why did you give it to him? Everyone in the hall couldn't contain their emotions, and a wave of accusations came flooding in. Gao Manyue frowned. No matter what, Tang Ye had helped the Gao family back then. The Gao family's current success was partly due to him. But now, her family seemed not to care at all, especially her younger brother, Gao Qingbin, who had almost knelt down to beg Tang Yi for help. Yet now, he could say such things. The Gao family had assets worth hundreds of millions, but he was acting so ungratefully just because of a coffee shop. Gao Manyue rubbed her forehead, feeling extremely angry at these comments. Stop it! Gao Manyue raised her voice, finally silencing everyone. Gao Manyue calmly said, Tang, he didn't accept anything. That kid didn't accept anything? Everyone was stunned, looking at Gao Manyue with shock. Chun Lanxiang looked at Gao Manyue incredulously. Tang, you didn't want anything? Man, you must have promised him some other benefits without telling us, right? Gao Manyue frowned slightly. No, he didn't want anything from the beginning. I felt very sorry for him, so I gave him the transfer contract for the coffee shop. The coffee shop? Chun Lanxiang's eyes widened, her face full of anguish. Oh my God, that's the best location on the commercial street. It makes so much profit every year, and you just gave it to that boy. Mom, stop it. Tang, he helped us when we were in our most difficult time. Now I'm divorcing him, but if I don't give him any means of support, how is he supposed to survive after being out of touch with society for 3 years? Who cares if he lives or dies? Chun Lanxiang's face darkened. You're divorced. How he lives has nothing to do with our Gao family. Right, sis, Mom already said that coffee shop was meant for me. It was already decided. Tang Yi only spent a few years in jail. Why should he get so much? He's a grown man with hands and feet. Is he afraid he can't earn money? He's divorced. Why is he so shameless, still wanted to leech off of us? The coffee shop had a lot to do with Gao Qingbin's living expenses. Hearing this news was a huge blow to him. However, before he could finish, Gao Manyue's expression turned icy. Gao Qingbin, shut up. It's not your place to speak. If it weren't for the trouble you caused, Tang, he wouldn't have taken the fall for you. Gao Manyue was the heir personally appointed by the old Mr. Gao. Over the years, she had managed the Gao family with great success. Now that she had put on a stern face, no one dared to say another word. The atmosphere became incredibly awkward. I have a date with young Master Han tonight. Gao Manyue glanced around with disappointment, gave Li Shanshan a look, and prepared to leave. Oh, my memory! I was so focused on Tang Yi that I forgot about this important matter. Man, go get ready. Be respectful to young Master Han. He's not married yet. If you can seize this opportunity, you won't have to worry for the rest of your life. If young Master Han really becomes my son-in-law, then your mother, I can also bask in your glory. Under Chun Lanxiang's earnest instructions, Gao Manyue felt speechless and left with Li Shanshan. However, as soon as she left, Chun Lanxiang's face changed instantly. What a spendthrift. She doesn't know how to manage money. Just giving Tang Yi some money would have been enough. Why did she have to give him the coffee shop as well? It's worth over $1 million. In the hands of a useless person like Tang Yi, it'll probably go bankrupt in a few months. Mom, you're right. After so many years in prison, I don't think he knows anything about business. He might even sell the coffee shop and use the money to live. An idea struck Gao Qingbin. He looked around and quietly walked up to Chun Lanxiang. There's no such thing as a free lunch, Mom. Tang, he just spent 3 years in jail, and he gets all that for free? That's not fair. I think we need to find a way to get Tang Yi to return the coffee shop to us. Hearing this, Chun Lanxiang immediately perked up. Yes, we can't just let this go. Otherwise, that coffee shop will really end up in that kid's pocket. Let's go. Mom has to go talk to Tang Yi. I don't believe that a nobody who just got out of prison with no background would dare to fight us. Okay, Mom, I'll go with you. We have to get that coffee shop back. Gao Qingbin's face was full of joy, and he immediately agreed. Then, Chun Lanxiang added another warning. Don't gossip about me going to find Tang Yi. This absolutely cannot reach Manue's ears. With that, the two looked at each other and eagerly headed out. Chapter 4. Meanwhile, Cloud City, Yahe Hotel. Tang Yi's face was pained, his eyes filled with sorrow. Despite claiming he had no further connection with Gao Manyue, he was still immersed in memories of their past. Their time together had seemed so beautiful. Everything Gao Manyue had said today was like a sharp knife, stabbing into his heart again and again. He had done so much for her, even sacrificing his own freedom, all for her benefit, and this was the result he received. Tang Yi sneered and tore the agreement to shreds. 10 minutes earlier, Gao Manyue's mother had called. It was ridiculously laughable. He had been in prison for 3 years, and during that time, no one from the Gao family had visited him. But now, they were indirectly inquiring about his address, saying they wanted to see him. Thinking about this, Tang Yi sighed again. Suddenly, his phone rang. Tang Yi looked surprised. This phone number was newly registered, and logically, only a few people knew it. He frowned, but answered the call without much hesitation. A voice filled with surprise and alarm rang out. Master Tang. This title was an honorific used for Tang Yi. Tang Yi seemed accustomed to such a title. He paused and said indifferently, "This is Tang Yi. What is the matter?" As soon as he answered, the person on the other end gasped. "Master Tang, thank goodness, I finally found you. This is Song Qin, from the Song family of Hang City. I beg you to treat my grandfather. A year ago, thanks to your treatment, he was able to survive. Now his illness has returned. We've consulted many famous doctors, but none of them can help. Please help us. Whatever your request, the Song family will satisfy you." If someone had been present and heard the caller's name, they would have been astonished. The Song family of Hang City was one of the oldest and most influential families, with influence across the country, particularly in 3 major sectors. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that even a slight cough from the Song family could shake Hang City, even the entire country. Although the Gao family was flourishing in Cloud City, compared to the Song family, they were insignificant. Even the Gao family had climbed up the social ladder by relying on the Song family's support to connect with the Han family. In recent years, the Gao family had developed to its current state thanks to an investment from a Song family branch company. For so many years, Gao Manyue had tried every means possible, but the Song family had never responded. Or rather, to the Song family, the Gao family wasn't significant enough. Song Qin was the daughter of the Song family head's only daughter, the sole heir of the Song family, and held a noble status. This status allowed her to act with impunity in Hang City. Now, she was begging Tang Yi for help, promising to agree to any request he made. If Gao Manyue were here, she would be dumbfounded. Song Qin's casual words could influence the Gao family's survival. Gao Manyue would never have imagined that the Song family's eldest daughter was calling him, speaking respectfully to the very person she, Gao Manyue, looked down upon. Tang Yi paused, then calmly replied, "The Song family? I don't quite recall. However, having ensured your grandfather lived these extra years, perhaps that was his destiny. I won't interfere further." He hung up without hesitation. A moment later, the phone rang again. Clearly, the Song family's eldest daughter had lowered her stance to the extreme. Despite being hung up on, she didn't dare to complain. Seeing the persistent ringing, Tang Yi reluctantly answered the call. "Master Tang, I believe you can cure my grandfather. I beg you, please save him again. I beg you." Tang Yi sighed. "Miss Song, illnesses are predestined. If one treatment is unsuccessful, forcibly extending life will affect the lifespan of the person performing the life extension. Master Tang, you misunderstand. I'm not asking you to extend his life. After your previous treatment, his health is good. However, some time ago, my grandfather suddenly developed other symptoms. We consulted specialists and learned he seems to have been poisoned. This poison is potent and rare and no one but you can cure it. I have no other choice, or I wouldn't have rashly disturbed you." Song Qin's voice was laced with tears. "Please save my grandfather. Your medical skills are supreme. You can definitely formulate an antidote. My grandfather has always been kind and has never done anything harmful. He shouldn't be fated to be harmed by a villain." The Song family had searched for doctors throughout the country, but all were helpless. Later, after numerous inquiries, Song Qin learned that the person who had extended her grandfather's life was a reclusive master. And this master was closely related to the Gao family she had supported for so many years. After some investigation, she finally obtained Tang Yi's phone number. Hearing Song Qin's tone, Tang Yi's heart softened. He pondered for a moment, then sighed, "Since he was harmed by someone, I'll try." Chapter 5. The reason Tang Yi did this was because the person was Old Master Song. Old Master Song was kind and benevolent, served the country, contributed to the country, and did many good things for the people. It was not out of fear of the Song family's power, nor was it because of the benefits Song Qin gave him. Tang Yi did this entirely out of his own consideration, and his rescue years ago was also based on this. Tang Yi couldn't bear to see such a great philanthropist suffer. Thank you so much, Master Tang. My grandfather can finally survive this time. Song Qin was overjoyed. Master Tang, where are you? Is it Yunqing prison? I will set off immediately to pick you up. Yunqing Yahe Hotel. Tang Yi told Song Qin the location and hung up the phone before Song Qin could reply. Not long after, Tang Yi sighed and took off the jade pendant hanging around his waist. Instantly, the atmosphere in the room seemed to freeze. Tang Yi stroked the jade pendant in his hand, his mind racing. His name had disappeared from the martial arts world for almost a year. He had not appeared again since that action a year ago. Thinking back to when he first entered prison, he met that strange old man by chance. The old man was amazed by Tang Yi's talent and accepted him as his disciple without hesitation. In less than a year, the old man had taught him all of his skills. Especially in medicine, he was incredibly skilled. This jade pendant was given to Tang Yi by the old man as a gift for becoming his disciple. Legend has it that this is the highest symbol of status in the ancient medical lineage. In these 3 years, as long as Tang Yi wanted to leave prison, nothing could stop him. But his master said that Tang Yi's temperament was not sufficient, and told Tang Yi not to act rashly and to obediently serve his 3-year sentence. However, Tang Yi also did not want to cause trouble for the Gao family, so he had never taken a step out. Tang Yi touched the jade pendant in his hand and sighed again. Alas, I originally thought that when I came out, I could give you a backer, but unexpectedly, things are different now. You are no longer the Manyue you used to be. Chapter 6. Yunqing Yoha Hospital. As the best private hospital in the province, the medical facilities here were excellent. Those who could afford treatment here were all wealthy and influential. At this moment, the 8th floor intensive care unit was surrounded by the Song family's bodyguards. The entire floor was eerily silent. All the hospital's specialists were present. Inside the ward, Song Ring lay pale, eyes closed, seemingly in a deep coma. Grandpa, Master Tang has agreed to help us. I'll go find him now. You must hold on. Beside the bed, Song Qin wiped her tears and spoke excitedly. A few days ago, after learning that Master Tang was in Yunqing, Song Qin had used her connections to transfer her grandfather from a hospital in Hangqing. She wanted Master Tang to treat her grandfather immediately. Soon, a Rolls-Royce led a procession of cars out of the hospital, heading straight for the location Tang Yi had given. Unexpectedly, at the same time, Chen Lanxiang and her son, Gao Qingbin, also rushed to the Yahe Hotel. Mom, I told you Tang Yi is just an ignorant kid. He got some money from my sister and immediately moved into this luxury hotel. As soon as he arrived at the hotel entrance, Gao Qingbin complained resentfully. Chen Lanxiang's face darkened. This brat, he thinks he's a tycoon just because the Gao family gave him some benefits? As she walked, Chen Lanxiang suddenly worried. Qingbin, what if he doesn't give it back to us? Hearing his mother's concern, a cruel smile appeared on Gao Qingbin's lips. Mom, you underestimate me. There's nothing Gao Qingbin can't get. If he obediently returns the shop, considering he took the fall for me before, I won't bother him. But if he doesn't cooperate, I have plenty of ways to destroy him. Gao Qingbin looked arrogant. Dealing with Tang Yi was child's play to him. Not dealing with him was already showing mercy. He had long forgotten the favor Tang Yi had done him by taking the blame. Chapter 7. The two stormed into the hotel, got the room number from the front desk, and aggressively went to find it. Mom, it's this room. Move aside. Gao Qingbin gestured for Chen Lanxiang to move. He raised his leg and kicked the door. This kind of high-class hotel usually doesn't have ordinary wooden doors, but high-grade security doors with passcodes. The kick didn't open the door, but instead made his foot numb. Tang Yi, inside the room, heard the commotion and opened the door. The moment the door opened, Tang Yi was stunned. What are you doing here? Tang Yi, you good for nothing. You took our family's money and are actually staying in such a high-class hotel. Look at yourself. Is this a place a loser like you should be staying? Chen Lanxiang didn't hesitate to point at Tang Yi and berate him. Looking at Chen Lanxiang, this woman was still as snobbish as ever. When Tang Yi was with Gao Manyue, she constantly opposed it. She even used various means to make them break up. Even Tang Yi going to jail for Gao Qingbin was half due to this woman. But these were all things of the past. Let these painful memories be forgotten along with the divorce agreement. Tang Yi didn't even look at her. We have no relationship anymore. I can stay wherever I want. Where you stay has nothing to do with us. But you should return what you owe our Gao family, Chen Lanxiang said sarcastically. Tang Yi frowned, puzzled by Chen Lanxiang's words. He left with nothing. If anyone owed anything, it was the Gao family, who owed him 3 years of his life. How could it be said that he took things from the Gao family? Tang Yi said firmly. I don't understand what you're talking about. You ungrateful wretch. You still dare to talk back? Gao Qingbin straightened up and pointed at Tang Yi. If you don't return our things, don't blame me for slapping you. Tang Yi gave a wry smile. Looking at the idle Gao Qingbin before him, he was at a loss for words. A small-time hoodlum who idled around at home all day long. If it wasn't for his sister Gao Manyue's support all these years, he would have been homeless long ago. He constantly caused trouble outside, and it was always Tang Yi who took the blame for him. If Tang Yi hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he wouldn't have believed that the brother-in-law he had helped for so many years was actually such an ungrateful beast. Even worse than a beast. Try touching me. I guarantee you'll regret it. The atmosphere in the corridor changed. Tang Yi's eyes had become fierce at some point. For a moment, Gao Qingbin was actually intimidated. You good for nothing. I'll show you today. Who will regret it? Gao Qingbin raised his fist and punched Tang Yi. Normally, Tang Yi would have yielded to his former brother-in-law. But now that he was divorced from Gao Manyue, there was no need to consider such sentiments. Tang Yi often exercised in prison, and he easily caught this light punch. That's it. Faced with Tang Yi's disdainful mockery, Gao Qingbin's face flushed red. But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't break free from Tang Yi's grip. Damn it, let me go. What if I don't? You waste. Gao Qingbin's mouth was still foul. Seeing her precious son at a disadvantage, Chen Lanxiang raised her designer bag and smashed it down. Slap! A crisp and loud slap echoed in the hallway, silencing everyone. The 5 bright red fingerprints on Gao Qingbin's face scared him into silence. Tang Yi, you good for nothing? You dare hit me? He never thought that the once timid Tang Yi would dare to fight back today. I used to hold back for your sister's sake. I didn't expect you to become more and more presumptuous. If you don't get out of here, I'll teach you a lesson on behalf of your sister. Chen Lanxiang went berserk when she saw her son being hit and charged forward. Tang Yi, you dare hit my son? I'll fight you. 2 more kicks landed, and Chen Lanxiang was also knocked to the ground. Tang Yi didn't bother to talk nonsense with him anymore. Just as he was about to close the door, his phone suddenly rang. He took out his phone and saw it was a call from Song Qin. I've been more than generous to your Gao family. Don't bother me again. With that, Tang Yi strode away, leaving the 2 dumbfounded. Meanwhile, at the hotel entrance, a stretched Maybach was parked outside the hotel, its doors wide open. Bodyguards in suits stood in 2 rows, their eyes fixed on the descending elevator numbers. A red carpet was laid all the way to the elevator door. As soon as Tang Yi stepped out of the elevator, Song Qin's eyes lit up, and she recognized him. Master Tang, hello. I'm the one who spoke to you on the phone. My name is Song Qin. Song Qin extended a hand, her eyes excitedly looking at the man before her. Tang Yi replied coldly, ignoring her outstretched hand. The bodyguards all suspected they were seeing things. Who was this man who dared to refuse Miss Song's handshake? Many men would give anything for such an opportunity. He was simply too presumptuous. However, Song Qin didn't mind. She believed that the more arrogant a person was, the more capable they were. On the contrary, those who flattered and fawned were all just petty people with glib tongues. She looked at the man before her with admiring eyes, and only reacted after a long while. Master Tang, please get in the car. Song Qin personally led the way, and even made a pleased gesture before he got in the car. Only after Tang Yi was fully seated did she wave her hand for everyone to retreat. As the car slowly started, Chun Lanxiang and her son also arrived at the hotel entrance. Upon seeing the license plate of the Maybach, they were instantly stunned. What was going on today? Not only were they beaten by Tang Yi, but they also got to see the Song family of Hangzhou in person. Mom, do you think this Miss Song has a boyfriend? Oh, son, that's not someone we can afford to offend. Remember, we can offend anyone, but we can't offend the Song family. Do you hear me? Gao Qingbin curled his lip and rubbed his face. She's just a woman. What's there to be afraid of? Just then, Gao Manyue's call came in. Chun Lanxiang saw that it was her daughter, answered the phone, and started to complain. Daughter, do you care about your mother's life or death? That bastard Tang, he dared to hit me. Chapter 8. Mom! What are you talking about? Tang Yi. How could Tang Yi hit you? Gao Qinyue's voice came from the other end of the phone. She still believed in Tang Yi's character, that he was definitely not someone who would provoke trouble. At this moment, Gao Qingbin snatched the phone from Chun Lanxiang's hand. Sis, what do you mean by saying that? This ingrate not only hit me, but even Mom too. You must stand up for us no matter what. Gao Qinyue on the other end of the phone was silent for a long time, and finally sighed. All right, you guys go to the hospital for a checkup first. I have a meeting at hand right now. I'll go over to see you later. Chun Lanxiang snatched the phone back and said with a sob in her voice, Daughter, what meeting are you still having? What problem is more serious than your mother's health? Gao Qinyue on the other end of the phone said softly, Young Master Han will also be attending this meeting. I don't want to delay my cooperation with young Master Han because of a trivial matter. As soon as she heard it was young Master Han, Chun Lanxiang on the other end immediately went silent. This young Master Han, in their hearts, could be considered a life-saving straw. They couldn't afford to offend him, no matter who else they offended. Moreover, her daughter was about to marry young Master Han, and she was about to transform into a relative of the Han family. At this critical moment, even if Chun Lanxiang lacked a sense of propriety, she understood the seriousness of the matter. Chun Lanxiang lowered her voice. Daughter, then you go ahead and get busy. Be sure to communicate more with young Master Han. Mom has high hopes for you both. Okay. You take your younger brother to the hospital first. I'll come over after I'm done with work. After speaking, Gao Qinyue hung up the phone without hesitation. Gao Qingbin on the side was still unclear about what had happened. His face darkened, and he complained to Chun Lanxiang. What's wrong with my sister? Does she not care about us anymore now that she has a new man? Chun Lanxiang comforted him. Don't talk nonsense. Young Master Han is there this time. Don't make things difficult for your sister anymore. Son, don't worry. Mom definitely won't let you get beaten for nothing. I will definitely get justice for you, and teach that good-for-nothing a good lesson. A Porsche drove into the company's parking lot. The car door remained closed for a long time. Gao Qinyue, sitting in the driver's seat, had dim eyes. At this moment, the bits and pieces of the past with Tang Ye flashed through her mind. Although she had completely removed this man from her world, she knew in her heart that Tang Ye had done nothing wrong. It was just that her Gao family, at this moment, needed not a good husband, but a wealthy investor like young Master Han. Tang Yi, I know I'm sorry to you for doing this, but I gave you benefits. It's you who didn't want them. Gao Qinyue's eyes welled up with tears, her voice slightly hoarse. At this moment, her phone rang again. Taking out her phone to look, it was actually young Master Han. Young Master Han calling her so late? It must be something important. Gao Qinyue adjusted her emotions and answered the phone. Hello, young Master Han. Is there anything you need so late? From the other end of the phone, a frivolous man's voice came. Yeah, I'm calling to tell you. In a few days, the Han family will have a shareholders meeting, and many important figures will come then. Asking you if you want to attend? The Han family in Hangzhou was very famous. Those who could attend such a shareholders meeting were definitely all upper-class people. Just grabbing onto any one or two of their coattails would be enough for the Gao family to live comfortably for a lifetime. How could Gao Qinyue let go of such a good opportunity? I'll go. Young Master Han, thank you for inviting me. Young Master Han chuckled on the other end of the phone. Yeah, do we still need to be so polite between us? You will soon become my wife. It is only right for me to do this. Emma. After Gao Qinyue responded, she hung up the phone in a hurry. In the car window, in the dim atmosphere, Gao Qinyue let out a long breath, looking at the world of brightly lit streets outside through the car window. She bit her lip tightly, and a line of hot tears flowed down. Tang Yi, don't blame me. I am also forced to. On the way to the hospital, Tang Yi sat expressionlessly in the Maybach, holding a glass of champagne in his hand. The car was very quiet. It seemed this kind of quiet was unique to him. Finally, Song Qin sat down beside Tang Yi, leaning on him. Before this, Song Qin had never met Tang Yi. When she learned that he was such a young man, she couldn't help but want to take a few more glances. Tang Yi's appearance couldn't be considered handsome at first glance, but at least his features looked very resolute, with a high nose bridge and deep eyes. At first glance, he gave people a sense of security. Master Tang, I didn't expect you to be so young, yet have such high medical skills. Faced with Song Qin's praise, Tang Yi just absent-mindedly nodded. But this did not end the conversation. Song Qin stared at Tang Yi's profile and asked, Master Tang, how confident are you about my grandfather's health? Tang Yi shook the champagne in his hand and said, 80 or 90%. If the car was any slower, it would be hard to say. Song Qin understood that Tang Yi was indirectly complaining that she was talking too much. However, Song Qin didn't want to be like this either, but the first time she met Tang Yi, she found that he was full of unknown possibilities. She couldn't help but want to ask a few more questions about Tang Yi. After Song Qin urged the driver, she sat next to Tang Yi again with a sincere smile. Master Tang, as long as you can save my grandfather, I'm willing to do anything you ask. Song Qin leaned over gently. The soft and smooth touch was like a natural silk. Her voice was soft and charming, as if born with an irresistible temptation. Tang Yi ignored her, his eyes fixed on the brightly lit streets outside. At this moment, he had no thoughts about the beauty sitting next to him, because his heart still held onto the former Gao Manyue. Although the two of them had ended things in such an ambiguous way, the feelings of several years were still there, not something that could be abandoned just like that. At this moment, Song Qin's phone suddenly rang. Tang Yi accidentally glanced at it and saw that the caller ID was second uncle. Song Qin's second uncle was her father's younger brother, also the second in command of the Song family, Song Wanpeng. After Song Qin answered the phone, her voice was obviously much quieter. Hello, second uncle. From the other end of the phone came a deep and powerful voice. Qin, second uncle, has already found the most famous miracle doctor in Hangzhou. Old master's health is saved. You don't need to look for that Tang fellow anymore. When Song Qin heard these words, a hint of nervousness appeared on her pretty face. Second uncle, how can you just casually find someone to treat Grandpa? Don't take matters into your own hands. I'm almost at the hospital. Wait for me to come back. Chapter 9. Outside the emergency room of the hospital. Various people in suits and leather shoes, dressed in bright colors, stood full of the space. Looking around, not a single person was dressed ordinarily. Almost all were wealthy and influential people, and the scene was momentarily silent. But beneath this silence, everyone had their own hidden agendas, and undercurrents were surging. Finally, a deep cough from the end of the corridor drew everyone's attention. Hearing this cough, everyone tacitly stood up and looked towards the end of the corridor. A dignified, square-faced, burly man, leaning on a cane, slowly walked out. This person was Song Wanpeng, the second in command of the Song family. Hello, Director Song. Director Song, Director Song. In the corridor, people nodded and bowed, greeting Song Wanpeng. But Song Wanpeng didn't even glance at any of them. Everyone not only noticed Song Wanpeng, but also discovered an old man following behind him with his head held high. This old man had graying eyebrows and thinning hair, but his eyes were particularly clear, seemingly containing many mysteries. His face was calm as he followed Song Wanpeng to the door of the emergency room. The door of the emergency room also suddenly opened at this moment. A doctor wearing a mask with a stout figure and dressed in a white coat walked out. This doctor was Professor Chun, the most senior doctor in this hospital, and he had saved countless lives. However, when faced with the Song family patriarch's fragile body, he was also helpless. Song Wanpeng asked with a serious face, Professor Chun, how is the old patriarch's condition today? Professor Chun sighed. They had indeed tried their best. The old patriarch's condition is worse today than yesterday, I'm afraid. Everyone in the corridor held their breath, their faces showing anxiety. This old patriarch Song was a well-known figure in Hangzhou. Over the years, the Song family had relied on the connections and network held by the patriarch to achieve their current status. If something truly happened to old patriarch Song, the Song family would face the biggest crisis in history. Perhaps they would decline in Hangzhou from then on. Everyone's faces were filled with worry, and the once noisy corridor suddenly became quiet. Useless people do not make reckless conclusions. The old man behind Song Wampung spoke, causing everyone to frown, like a bright lamp in the night. At this moment, Professor Chen also noticed this person. He took a deep breath, and his face tightened. This, isn't this Hangzhou's most famous divine doctor, Mr. Zhao Wuji, Mr. Zhao? I have long admired your name. Professor Chen hurriedly extended a hand. Zhao Wuji squinted his small eyes, seemingly not taking it seriously. Everyone's eyes focused on Professor Chen's face as he awkwardly retracted his hand. However, admiration for Zhao Wuji could still be seen in his eyes, because this Zhao Wuji was no ordinary person. In the entire Hangzhou, countless prominent figures had spent a fortune to invite him to come out of retirement, but they hadn't even seen his face. To be able to witness Zhao Wuji's true appearance today, Professor Chen felt it was a meritorious deed after so many years in medicine. Song Wamping coughed and looked back at Zhao Wuji. Mr. Zhao, the old patriarch's health will depend on your help. Zhao Wuji laughed and said, Director Song, please rest assured, since I have agreed to come out of retirement, I will definitely cure him quickly. It's just that. Song Wamping nodded, a hint of certainty on his dignified face. As long as you can save the old patriarch, I will increase the promised reward tenfold. Zhao Wuji squinted his eyes and smiled. Director Song is indeed very generous. Saying this, Zhao Wuji walked toward the ward. The hearts that were hanging in the air finally relaxed. With such a powerful master like Zhao Wuji taking action, old patriarch Song must be saved. As for that Tang Yi that Song Qin went to find, no one knew if he was reliable. Young girls are just prone to impulsiveness when doing things. It seems it still depends on Director Song Wamping. A Maybach stopped outside the hospital gate. At this time, more than 30 minutes had passed, and Song Qin was worried that time was running out. She didn't delay for a moment along the way, arriving at the ward door at the fastest speed. Unfortunately, she was still one step late. In front of everyone, they watched Song Qin walk into the crowd with Tang Yi. But this time, everyone's eyes were filled with disdain. Where did this country bumpkin come from? Is Song Qin crazy? Finding some kind of trash to treat her grandfather? What does Song Qin mean? Is she hoping her grandfather dies sooner? Under suspicious gazes, Song Qin brought Tang Yi before Song Wamping. Before Song Qin could speak, Song Wamping spoke first. Qin, do you know where this is? Bringing an outsider to cause trouble for the Song family. Don't you know that Grandpa's health is currently in great danger? Song Qin didn't want to argue with him. She pulled Tang Yi over and began to introduce him. Uncle, this is the divine doctor I mentioned to you, Tang Yi. He is finally willing to save Grandpa. When Song Qin introduced Tang Yi, everyone's faces were astonished. They all suspected that Song Qin was crazy, actually treating this ragamuffin in front of them as a divine doctor. Before Song Wampung could speak, Professor Chen couldn't stand it any longer. Looking at Tang Yi with a mocking gaze, he said, Miss Song, the one who just went in is Hangzhou's famous divine doctor, Mr. Zhao Wuji. As for the one you brought now, if I'm not mistaken, he must be a swindler. Tang Yi, none of us in medicine have ever heard of this name. The crowd echoed in agreement, especially Song Wamping's assistant, who walked directly to Tang Yi's side and took out a few hundred yuan. This is your travel expenses for today. Regardless of whether you are a swindler or not, Director Song is not a stingy person. Take the money and leave quickly. Facing this assistant, Tang Yi had not even glanced at him from beginning to end. The scene was momentarily awkward. If Tang Yi hadn't promised Song Qin, he would have left already. Just as Song Qin was about to smooth things over for Tang Yi, the door of the ward suddenly opened. Zhao Wuji raised his eyebrows, walked out with his hands behind his back, looking relaxed, as if the old patriarch's health was a piece of cake to him. Song Wamping didn't care about Tang Yi anymore, and went directly to Zhao Wuji's side and asked, Master, how is the situation? Zhao Wuji smiled confidently and said, "The old patriarch was already critically ill. Thankfully, you invited me to come out of retirement. If it had been after tonight, perhaps no one could have saved him." "So, it's already fine?" Song Wamping asked. "Yes." Zhao Wuji nodded confidently. Everyone outside the ward breathed a sigh of relief at this moment. But Tang Yi, looking through the crack in the door, felt that the old patriarch's face didn't look quite right. Chapter 10. What a mess. Tang Yi shook his head. "What did you say?" "I said you're being too clever for your own good. The old man is probably going to die because of you." Tang Yi said coldly. The people in the corridor held their breath upon hearing this, especially Zhao Wuji, whose expression was extremely unpleasant. After practicing medicine for so many years, someone actually dared to question his medical skills in public. It would be one thing if it were someone else, but this kid looked like a hooligan and a charlatan who didn't understand medicine at all. Being questioned by someone like that made Zhao Wuji feel like he was losing face. "May I ask your name?" "You don't need to know me, but remember this. If the old man is given large doses of tonics as a medicinal guide at this time, he will definitely not see the sun tomorrow." Tang Yi said expressionlessly. At this moment, Professor Chun, who was standing next to them, glanced at the old man in the ward. Then he looked at Tang Yi with disdain and said, "Young man, haven't you noticed that the old man's complexion has improved a lot? You can joke about me, but you absolutely can't joke about Divine Dr. Zhao. Hurry up and leave, and don't try to pretend to be a swindler anymore." Before Tang Yi could even speak, Song Wamping noticed that the old man in the ward was indeed looking better. Immediately, he was overjoyed and very happy. "Divine Dr. Zhao, thank you for your help. I have already arranged a banquet at the Dingxing building. Please honor us with your presence. We must properly thank the Divine Doctor for saving him today." Without another word, Song Wamping went up and grabbed Zhao Wuji's hand, his eyes showing genuine gratitude. Seeing this scene, Tang Yi sighed helplessly. The old man's life was probably coming to an end. Perhaps this was the old man's fate, since the Song family didn't want him to intervene. Then he had no reason to stay here. Under everyone's gaze, Tang Yi left without looking back. Zhao Wuji watched Tang Yi's departing figure, pretending to look sorrowful. Chairman Song, young people these days like to get something for nothing. In the future, you should tell Miss Song to be more discerning and be careful of being deceived again. As soon as these words came out, the people outside the ward looked at Song Qin with pity. This was not just a battle over the old man's life and death, but also a demonstration of ability in front of many senior members of the Song family. Obviously, Song Qin had clearly lost at this moment. However, Song Wanpeng did not deliberately make things difficult for Song Qin. He waved his hand, made a please gesture to Zhao Wuji and said, "Master, please move to the Dingxing building. Don't worry about things that aren't worth it. The most important thing now is to reward the Divine Doctor." Zhao Wuji stroked his beard and smiled. "Good, good." The group left the hospital and prepared to go to the Dingxing building. Coincidentally, they encountered Tang Yi again at the entrance of the hospital. "Oh, isn't this Master Tang?" As soon as they came out, Song Wamping noticed Tang Yi waiting for a taxi at the hospital entrance. He thought that Tang Yi hadn't been able to scam anything and was trying to hang around. Tang Yi ignored him, his eyes looking at the car slowly approaching in the distance. Several luxury cars stopped one after another at the hospital entrance. Song Wampeng personally opened a car door. After inviting Zhao Wuji into the car, he didn't forget to give Tang Yi a mocking look. Watching the car slowly drive away, Tang Yi smiled calmly. At this moment, Song Qin, who was behind him, came out at some point, her expression very perplexed. What had just happened had made her lose a lot of face. But even so, she thought that it was wrong of her to call Tang Yi over so rashly, and felt sorry for him. "Master Tang Yi?" "No need to say anything, I know," Tang Yi said calmly. Song Qin's hesitant pretty face showed surprise for a second. "You know?" "What?" In the cold wind. Tang Yi exhaled a breath of hot air and said calmly, "Zhao Wuji's technique is indeed quite good, but it's a pity that he forgot that the old man is now at his last gasp. So many tonics, all poured into the old man's system at once. It would be fine if he was an adult, but the old man doesn't have the strength to absorb them. If he can't absorb them, things will go to the extreme and turn into their opposite. Song Qin's eyes trembled. She was a little afraid to believe it. But looking at Tang Yi's serious expression, he didn't seem to be lying. And it was true that Tang Ye had treated her grandfather's illness a few years ago. No one knew the old man's condition better than Tang Ye. Song Qin took a deep breath of cold air and said, "But divine Dr. Zhao just cured Grandpa. It was there for everyone to see. Do you know what a dying glow is?" Tang Ye smiled disdainfully. Inside the several luxury cars that had left, Song Wanpeng and the others were praising Zhao Wuji to the skies, almost making him out to be a god. I've long heard that divine Dr. Zhao's medical skills are superb. Seeing them today is truly extraordinary. In the entire Hangzhou, if divine Dr. Zhao's medical skills are said to be second, no one would dare to say they are first. Zhao Wuji heard these words, and his face was filled with joy, but he didn't take them too seriously. What he really cared about was not this, but the treatment fee that Song Wanpeng had promised. "Chairman Song, don't forget the reward we agreed on beforehand." Song Wanpeng put his arm around Zhao Wuji from behind and said generously, "I will add 10 times the reward that divine Dr. Zhao had previously agreed on. If I need something in the future, divine Dr. Zhao must lend a hand." Zhao Wuji's face was full of complacency at this moment, enjoying the joy of being high above. As for Tang Ye just now, he had long forgotten about this small character. But at this moment, Song Wanpeng's phone suddenly rang again. It was Professor Chen from the hospital calling. "Hello, old Chun, what's the matter? I'm on my way to the Dingxing building to celebrate with divine Dr. Zhao." "What? Are you sure you're not mistaken?" Song Wanpeng's face suddenly darkened, and he looked at Zhao Wuji beside him in shock. Zhao Wuji also had a blank look on his face. As the phone hung up, the atmosphere in the car dropped to the extreme. Everyone didn't dare to breathe loudly. The words of praise just now had been strangled in the silent air. "Turn around. Go back to the hospital." At Song Wanpeng's command, everyone roughly understood what was going on in their hearts. He looked at Zhao Wuji beside him and asked coldly, "Divine Doctor, didn't you say that my father was fine? But why did Olchen call me and say that my father's breath is getting weaker and weaker? The medical equipment shows that he won't live past tonight. How did you treat him?" Zhao Wuji was also confused. He had a lot of confidence in his medical skills. The car stopped at the entrance of the hospital. As the car door opened, Song Wanpeng's worries were immediately caught by Song Qin. She looked back in the direction where Tang Ye had left. Could it be that he was right? Song Wanpeng came to Song Qin's side and asked with a frown, Qin, how is your grandfather?" Tang Ye said, "Grandpa is experiencing a dying glow." Song Wanpeng thought to himself, that kid was right. Chapter 11. At the hospital entrance, under everyone's gaze, Song Wanpeng caught up to Tang Ye. "Master Tang, I was blind. The hospital just called and said my father is fading fast. Please save my father." Tang Ye, hands in his pockets, glanced at him with an impassive expression and walked past. This made the entire Song family anxious. Although they constantly bickered amongst themselves, each valued the old man's life more than the others. If he didn't make it through the night, the Song family would be utterly ruined tomorrow. Zhao Wuji, having witnessed Tang Yi's abilities, also blocked Tang Yi's path, hoping to make amends. "Master Tang, it was my fault for not heeding your advice earlier. I was blind. Please have mercy and save old Master Song." But Tang Ye ignored their pleas. The humiliation he had just suffered was still fresh in his mind. With his father on the brink of death, Song Wanpeng swallowed his pride. Right there on the street, in front of everyone, he dropped to his knees before Tang Ye. Clutching Tang Ye's arm, head bowed, he pleaded, "Master Tang, I didn't mean to offend you earlier. I was just desperate to save my father. Please forgive my transgression. I beg you, save my father." Passers-by and the Song family were stunned. This was Song Wanpeng, the second in command of the Song family. A man whose words could decide the fate of many, kneeling before an unknown young man like Tang Ye. Who would believe it? But even if they didn't believe it, the reality was right before their eyes. "I've said all I needed to say. You didn't believe me. So who's to blame?" Tang Ye shook off Song Wanpeng's hand and walked away without looking back. "Master Tang, I know my uncle was wrong, but you promised me. You promised you would save my grandfather. Song Qin rushed to Tang Yi's side, tears in her eyes, her expression grief-stricken. Tang Yi finally stopped, sighed, and looked at Song Wampeng. "Take me to see him." Song Wampeng's eyes lit up. "Master, you've agreed? After all this delay, the chances of saving him are slim. Let me be clear, if I can't save him, it's not entirely my fault." Tang Yi didn't make any guarantees. Song Wampeng stood up. "As long as you're willing to try, Master, I will be eternally grateful. All right, let's go." Moments later, the hospital ward was again crowded with people, their faces even more anxious than before. Inside, Song Wampeng and Song Qin watched intently as Tang Yi approached the old man and opened a cloth bag filled with gleaming silver needles. 49 in total. The moment the needles were revealed, Zhao Wuji froze. Weren't these the legendary celestial revival needles, a technique long thought lost? It was said to have the power to bring back the dead. Even someone on the verge of death, once pierced with all 49 needles, could have their life extended. Zhao Wuji, having lived to such an age, felt privileged to witness this divine technique. Even if he were to die now, he would feel content. Without hesitation, Tang Yi inserted all 49 needles, then wrote a prescription. "Miss Song, prepare all the herbs on this list. Brew them into a decoction and have your grandfather drink it before midnight." Song Qin took the prescription without hesitation and left immediately. Old Master Song now resembled a hedgehog, his body covered in needles. Black blood flowed from the acupuncture points. Once the black blood stopped, Tang Yi's hands moved with the grace of a butterfly, manipulating the needles in the old man's body. When he was finished, Tang Yi sat down to wait. But after half an hour, the old man remained unconscious. Some members of the Song family grew impatient. "What's going on? Why hasn't he woken up? Is this another charlatan? Are all these so-called divine doctors frauds? They make grand promises, but in the end, they're all useless." These words were directed not only at Tang Yi, but also at Zhao Wuji, whose face was grim. Neither of them responded. After tonight, they had seen the true colors of the Song family. They closed their eyes, awaiting the outcome. Finally, Song Qin returned with the decoction. "Master Tang, the medicine is ready." She anxiously handed it to him. Tang Yi took the decoction, sniffed it lightly, and nodded in satisfaction. "Help your grandfather sit up and drink this." Everyone watched as the old man slowly swallowed the medicine. But in the next moment, the heart monitor flatlined. Everyone gasped, especially Song Wampeng, whose face turned ashen. After all this effort, they still couldn't save him. Was the Song family truly doomed? Second brother was so foolish to believe this charlatan. Exactly. And that Song Qin girl also bears responsibility. They tortured the old man to death between them. Seeing the situation, they immediately began shifting blame. With the old man gone, it was time to divide the inheritance. Amidst the bickering, Tang Yi sighed. Just then, a loud voice boomed through the room. "What's all the commotion? Are you all so eager for me to die?" Silence fell over the ward. The old man was sitting up, his complexion remarkably healthy. The old man was alive. Were they hallucinating? "Every single one of you can't wait for me to die, so you can divide the family assets. I'm telling you, as long as I'm alive, none of you will destroy the Song family." The old man's voice was full of vigor, not at all like a sick man. This is truly astonishing. A miraculous recovery." Zhao Wuji stood up, his worldview shattered. Everyone crowded around, staring at the old man with mixed emotions. Tang Yi spoke directly. "Old master, you need to rest. There are too many people here. I suggest you move to a quieter ward. Don't worry, you'll be discharged in a few days." The old man smiled at Tang Yi, his heroic spirit, just as he remembered from years ago. Song Wampeng approached. "Thank you, Divine Dr. Tang. I have prepared a generous reward to express my gratitude for saving my father. I've also reserved a venue for you at the Dingxing building. Please do us the honor of attending." Song Wampeng's invitation was sincere. He was truly grateful to Tang Yi. Chapter 12. No need. My healing and saving people is only to fulfill my promise, not for any reward. Let's leave it at that. I still have things to attend to and must leave first. After Tang Yi finished speaking, he prepared to leave. But at this moment, old Master Song, who was sitting on the bed, suddenly stopped Tang Yi. "Master Tang, please wait." This old man's life, thanks to Master Tang's 2 interventions, has been saved from dire straits. Today, I know that Master Tang is not someone who loves vanity, but I don't want to owe you anything. Just take it as my sincere gratitude. I am willing to give Fuyin Courtyard to Master Tang, hoping that Master can accept it. Master Tang, please do not refuse this old man. This Fuyin Courtyard is the most famous piece of land in Hangzhou. This land is worth hundreds of millions, and it is also a superior feng shui treasure. Many fortune tellers have personally inspected it. Only by giving it to Master Tang can this old man feel at ease. Hearing the words Fuyin Courtyard, Tang Yi's eyes twitched. "Old Master, are you confused? This Fuyin Courtyard is something many people are fighting for, and you're just giving it away for free to him? I really don't know what kind of luck this kid has had." For a time, everyone in the room became clamorous. They couldn't accept that old Master Song would so casually give Fuyin Courtyard to this kid Tang. In everyone's eyes, this was undoubtedly gilding a dunghill. "All of you shut your mouths. It was divine Dr. Tang who saved me. Without me, would you have today? My mind is made up. Whoever dares to say another word, get out of the Song family." Everyone dared not say anything more and could only swallow their anger. "Divine Dr. Tang, these juniors are ignorant. If they have offended Divine Dr. Tang in any way, please, for the sake of this old man in his twilight years, don't take it to heart." Old Master Song turned back and spoke kindly to Tang Yi. "It's nothing. I didn't even take them seriously." Tang Yi replied calmly. The atmosphere in the room instantly dropped to freezing point. Everyone's faces were exceptionally ugly, but because the old master was here, they dared not say anything more. At this time, Zhao Wuji, who was standing aside, could no longer sit still and immediately stepped forward and said, "Divine Dr. Tang, I deeply admire your heavenly immortal 49 needles. I hope Master can disregard past grievances and have an in-depth discussion with me." Having personally witnessed Tang Yi's medical skills, Zhao Wuji was shocked. He knew that the heavenly immortal 49 needles was rare, and to be able to use it so skillfully was even rarer. Even if it meant losing face today, he couldn't miss this opportunity. If he could learn even a move or two from Tang, he could climb to a higher level in the medical field in the future. Song Wampeng coughed and said, "In that case, let's go to Dingxing building then. Everything is ready. Please Divine Dr. Tang move." "No need." Tang Yi refused without hesitation. He didn't want to participate in such crowded places. "Divine Dr. Tang, please don't refuse. This is just a small token of our gratitude." Old Master Song wished he could get out of bed and personally invite Tang Yi. Old Master Song continued, "Master Tang, please do me the honor." Tang Yi sighed and helplessly agreed. "Dining is fine, but I don't want to discuss other things." Old Master Song's mood calmed down, and he gave Song Wampeng a look. Song Wampeng immediately understood. He respectfully extended his arm and said, "Please, Master Tang. No hurry. After the old master finishes drinking this medicine, he will be able to get out of bed." On the other side, Gao Manyue's company just happened to reach a cooperation with the Han family, strengthening the interactive relationship between the two families. At the same time, Gao's family's reputation, with the help of the Han family, quickly improved a lot in the circle. In order to strike while the iron was hot, Gao Manyue took out her mobile phone in the car and called her assistant. "Hello, Shan. Help me book a place at Dingxing Building. I want to invite young Master Han tonight." Hearing Gao Manyue's deliberate arrangement, Li Shanshan instantly understood. "Oh, President Gao, I felt something was strange tonight. So it turns out you and young Master Han are having a candlelit dinner." Gao Manyue's face on the other end of the phone turned slightly red, and she didn't know how to reply when she heard this. "Yo, what kind of things are you thinking about all day long? Hurry up and book the place for me. If there's a problem, I'll hold you accountable." Got it. After hanging up the phone, Gao Manyue breathed a sigh of relief. For the sake of the Gao family's future, she would spare no expense to climb up to the Han family. It just so happened that the Han family's young master, Han Anfei, had feelings for her. At this moment, Gao Manyue's phone rang again. She thought it was Li Shanshan calling to say the location was booked. This Li Shanshan, finally reliable for once. But when she picked up the phone and looked, it was actually not Li Shanshan. It was Han Anfei, She cleared her throat. Hello, young Master Han. Yeah. Where are you now? I'm driving. I just booked a restaurant. I wanted to invite you to celebrate our cooperation project. Haha. Yeah. We are really too compatible. I was thinking the same thing. Then, Dingxing Building, see you there. See you there. After hanging up the phone, Gao Manyue's car drove all the way to Dingxing Building. A brand new Porsche stopped in front of the main entrance of the building. This luxury car undoubtedly attracted the attention of passersby. Gao Manyue pushed open the car door and quickly got out of the car. Everyone's eyes were stunned, not only driving a luxury car, but also a beautiful woman, so enviable. Since the Gao family climbed up to the Han family, Gao Manyue's finances have risen all the way. Even her previous car has been replaced with a high-end Porsche. All of this must be thanked to the Han family. As soon as she entered the building, she found a woman arguing with a waiter. This woman was none other than her assistant Li Shanshan. Gao Manyue frowned and walked forward. Shanshan, what's going on? The hotel I asked you to book. Why are you arguing with people? Li Shanshan was also very distressed. President Gao, all the private rooms here are fully booked. I asked her to call their manager. She told me the manager went to greet some VIP guests. Please wait a moment. Our manager will come over after he is done. The waiter said. Busy with what? Do you know who our guest is today? Even having your manager personally greet them is not qualified. Li Shanshan said angrily. Chapter 13. I'm sorry, our manager is really unavailable right now. And the private rooms here are all full. Please come back another time. The waitress continued to persuade them with a smile. But Li Shanshan still refused to give up. This was no longer about just eating, but about saving face. For the prestigious Gao family to come to the Dingxing Building to eat was a favor to them. Yet they didn't appreciate it. Li Shanshan wanted to continue speaking, but Gao Manyue stopped her. Shanshan, wait. Let me ask. Gao Manyue, not wanting to make a scene, decided to take matters into her own hands. She walked to the front desk and looked calmly at the waitress. Excuse me, who is the person who booked the entire Dingxing Building today? Perhaps I might even know them? The waitress looked at her with disdain. She didn't believe that a small business owner like Gao Manyue would know the renowned Song family. The one who booked this place today is the famous Song family of Hangzhou. We really can't do anything about it. Please understand. Upon hearing it was the Song family, Li Shanshan and Gao Manyue's expressions changed drastically. In Hangzhou, the Song family was a force that completely crushed the Han and Gao families. If the Song family even moved a finger, they could crush them as easily as crushing an ant. To avoid unnecessary misunderstandings, Gao Manyue prepared to leave with Li Shanshan. But just as they turned around, they saw Tang Yi, who had left the banquet early. He was dressed plainly, which clashed with the magnificent style of the building. This made him stand out the most, and Gao Manyue recognized him at a glance. Tang Yi. Tang Yi paused. He would never mistake this incredibly familiar voice. Once in prison, he often recalled everything about Gao Manyue, her appearance, her personality, and her voice. He wanted to leave prison early to see this woman he longed for day and night. But he never expected that when that day came, it would be so disheartening. Tang Yi quickly reacted and chose to pretend he didn't hear. He didn't want this opportunistic, materialistic woman to reappear in his life. But his indifference only fueled Gao Manyue's anger. She and Li Shanshan quickened their pace and jogged to catch up. Li Shanshan took a quick step and blocked Tang Yi's path. Tang Yi, so it really is you, you good for nothing? Our CEO Gao called you, and you dare to pretend you didn't hear? Tang Yi glared at her. Watch your mouth. What do you have to do with me? I have no reason to listen to you. If you call me a good for nothing again, I'll slap your mouth until it's a mess. Oh ho! This kid actually dared to talk like that. Li Shanshan couldn't stand it. She was CEO Gao's best friend and a great help to her in the company. Tang, he was just an ex-convict. What right did he have to speak to her like that? Who gave you the guts to talk to me like that? You're just a freeloader. Our CEO Gao gave you a few scraps, and you really think you're something? Take a look at yourself. What are you even worth? Tang, he didn't want to waste any more words on this kind of person. He rolled his eyes at her and prepared to leave. It was too stinky here. Not only was the environment disgusting, but seeing Li Shanshan's face made him even more nauseous. Going around them, Tang Yi prepared to leave. But Li Shanshan took a large step, blocking Tang Yi's path. Who told you to leave? Our CEO Gao still has something to say. Oh, what does that have to do with me? Tang Yi said without turning his head. Only a snob like you would treat other people's farts as perfume. You good for nothing. Slap. Before Li Shanshan could finish speaking, a red handprint appeared on her face. The slap was very powerful, and it echoed crisply throughout the lobby. Well done. The waitresses at the front desk also noticed this scene, and they couldn't have been happier. When Li Shanshan looked up again, tears were in her eyes, and she looked at Gao Manyue with grievance. She knew that she was just an assistant. As the saying goes, you have to look at the owner before you beat the dog. To dare to hit her, Li Shanshan, in front of Gao Manyue, was completely disrespecting Gao Manyue's face. And Gao Manyue was equally shocked by the slap in front of her. Was this still the Tang Yi from before? The Tang Yi from before was taciturn and always tolerant. Today's Tang Yi felt very unfamiliar, especially his cold eyes, which seemed to lack any warmth. She finally understood why Chen Lanxiang had called in the afternoon to say that Tang Yi had hit them, mother and son. So, it was true. It must be because they divorced that Tang Yi, this villain, finally revealed his true colors. Tang Yi, I really misjudged you. How could you hit a woman? Tang Yi chuckled. Then thank you for seeing clearly today, for seeing that I'm not on the same path as you, which saves me from making a fool of myself. You were the one who said we'd go our separate ways from now on. What do you mean by finding me now? Or are you used to being high and mighty and think that everyone should come and go at your beck and call? You're too naive. Naive? Gao Manyue looked at Tang Yi with a blank expression. She was a little speechless. She knew that she had let Tang Yi down, but he didn't have to say it like that. Tang Yi, I think you've misunderstood. I was originally just kindly asking if you were working as a waiter here. If you can't find a decent job, out of guilt, I can help you. But since you're saying that, I obviously don't need to. Tang Yi chuckled. This was the funniest joke he had heard since he was a child. His ex-wife kicked him aside to climb the social ladder, and then wanted to find him a job out of guilt. Tang Yi laughed and shook his head. Gao Manyue, I think you're out of your mind. Did you count too much money and break your brain? I'm telling you, even if I, Tang Yi, am a beggar on the street, I will never take anything from your Gao family again. Gao Manyue saw that Tang Yi had misunderstood her words. She wanted to explain, but the words were stuck in her throat, and she couldn't say them. She just wanted to make up for this wrong relationship a little more. She didn't want the misunderstanding between them to get bigger and bigger. Before Gao Manyue could continue speaking, Li Shanshan said again, What a heartless person. CO Gao, you said so much to him, it was all a waste of breath. A good-for-nothing is a good-for-nothing. Let him fend for himself. Slap! Another slap echoed throughout the lobby. This time, the force was even greater than the last time. Li Shanshan was slapped to the ground on the lobby's luxurious floor tiles. After the slap, Tang Yi left without looking back. Chapter 14. To be honest, he had never been so annoyed with the Gao family. Even when he used to be subservient to them, he only felt that those things were what he should do. Everything he did then was for Gao Manyue, so it was all worth it. But after leaving the Gao family, every time he encountered them, he saw the bottom line of humanity being broken. Watching Tang Yi's departing figure, Gao Manyue's heart was in turmoil. She didn't know why Tang Yi had become like this, completely like a stranger. Perhaps it had something to do with her. She had personally harmed a man who had once been so good to her. Could it be? Have I done everything wrong? Gao Manyue couldn't help but doubt herself. Li Shanshan got up from the ground and cried, President Gao, look what she's done to my face. How am I supposed to get married now? Gao Manyue didn't look at her, but her gaze remained fixed on Tang Yi's departing figure. She said calmly, Don't make things difficult for Tang Yi in the future. Do you hear me? President Gao, are you not even listening to me anymore? Li Shanshan rubbed her face, looking aggrieved, and said, I understand. But as she turned her head, she saw the elevator doors slowly opening again. The people coming down this time were not simple. A group of senior executives, big and small, from the Song family walked out of the elevator. Leading the way, most imposing, leaning on a gold cane, with a stern and dignified square face, was Song Wampung. Beside him was the Song family's eldest daughter, Song Qin. The two were dumbfounded as this group of people gradually emerged from the elevator. Although they were a little distance away, they could clearly hear their conversation. Song Wampung seemed to be in a good mood. Qin, thanks to you today for bringing back divine Dr. Tang. Otherwise, Grandpa might have... Song Wampung sighed, his eyes filled with gratitude. Song Qin smiled faintly. Uncle, it's what I should do. Grandpa hasn't treated me badly all these years. I should do something for him. Yes. Song Wampung nodded happily. It's just a pity that the divine doctor left too quickly. There are so many things I wanted to ask him. Next time you see the divine doctor, be sure to let me know. Song Qin nodded, and the group walked past Gao Manyue. Gao Manyue and Li Shanshan were too scared to breathe, watching the Song family leave. So, the reason the Song family booked the Dingxing building today was to invite someone to dinner? Everyone in the city already knew that old Master Song was in poor health, and it was thought that he wouldn't last much longer. Judging by their happy expressions, he must have been cured by the divine doctor they mentioned. They said the divine doctor had just left, but Tang Ye was the only person here earlier? Could it be that the divine doctor they were talking about was Tang Ye? Don't be ridiculous, Gao Manyue. If Tang Ye were a divine doctor, wouldn't they have known after being together for so many years? Perhaps she just wasn't fortunate enough to meet the divine doctor. At this moment, Gao Manyue's phone suddenly rang. It was Han Fei, seemingly at the agreed-upon time. Hello, young Master Han. Manyue, where are you? I'm already at the Dingxing building. I'm waiting for you here. Okay, Manyue, guess who I just saw? Gao Manyue paused, feeling panicked. Could it be that he had encountered Tang Yi, who had just left the building? With Han Fei's temper, who knows what he would do to Tang Yi? Gao Manyue's tone was a little anxious. Who did you see? I just saw Song Wampung from the Song family, and his niece, Song Qin. When he mentioned the name Song Qin, Han Fei's voice became louder. It seemed that even through the phone, you could see the light in his eyes. But Gao Manyue was relieved, because it wasn't Tang Yi. I saw them too just now. After leaving the Dingxing building, Tang Ye walked alone on the street. In this quiet atmosphere, his mind couldn't help but conjure up Gao Manyue's appearance earlier. The woman was still as beautiful as ever, but her heart had become so filthy. The world is impermanent, and things are unpredictable. Tang Ye sighed deeply and stopped under a street lamp. He took out the token, thinking about where he would go in the future. At this moment, a blue sports car sped over and stopped beside Tang Ye. After the car came to a stop, it became clear that the person sitting in the driver's seat was Song Qin. She had changed her attire. No longer the high-level career woman, she was wearing a white dress, her hair draped over her shoulders, revealing a faint smile. At first glance, she looked more like the girl next door. Master Tang, get in. Tang Ye looked calmly at Song Qin and asked, I already agreed to cure your grandfather. What else do you want from me? Perhaps having experienced the Gao Manyue incident, Tang Ye was more wary of these people. He remained unmoved by the luxury car in front of him. Song Qin smiled and said, Don't always be so aloof. You promised my grandfather you would live in Floating Cloud Villa. Have you forgotten? My grandfather specifically told me to personally take you there tonight. Since you've already agreed, you mustn't go back on your word. Forget about Floating Cloud Villa. I saved your grandfather purely because I promised you, Tang Ye said nonchalantly. That won't do. You also promised my grandfather that if I didn't complete the mission, he would blame me. Master Tang, you wouldn't want us to be untrustworthy, would you? Tang Ye sighed, thinking that he had nowhere to go tonight. He might as well go with Song Qin and see what it was like and solve the housing problem first. Before Tang Ye could reply, Song Qin unfastened her seatbelt, got out of the car, went to the other side, and opened the car door. Divine Dr. Tang, please get in. Tang Ye glanced at the sensible Song Qin. She was also a female CEO, but she treated him with great respect and politeness. Looking back at the Gao family, a group of ungrateful people, Tang Ye couldn't help but sigh. Divine Dr. Tang, am I not being attentive enough? Song Qin asked cautiously. Tang Ye shook his head and said, No. I just thought of something unpleasant. Tang Ye got into the car, and Song Qin gently closed the door before returning to the driver's seat. Although she was curious about what unpleasant things someone as detached as Tang Ye could have, looking at his furrowed brow, she didn't dare to ask any further. Divine Dr. Tang, buckle up. We're about to set off. Chapter 15. Floating Cloud Courtyard. The most valuable piece of land in Hangzhou, praised by numerous feng shui masters as an exceptional location. For years, countless wealthy individuals and high-ranking officials tried to acquire it, but after much competition, it ultimately fell into the hands of Old Man Song. Over 5,000 square meters, surrounded by water on 3 sides and backed by a mountain, its feng shui was naturally formed, promising wealth and prosperity for generations to come for whoever built a house there. The car stopped outside the courtyard. As soon as Tang Ye got out, he felt the premium cobblestones beneath his feet. The courtyard was brightly lit. Even the security guards at the gate were top tier. Before even entering, Tang Ye felt the refreshing surge of spiritual energy upon exiting the car, recognizing it as an excellent place for cultivation. Then, Song Qin extended a hand and said, "Please, Master Tang." Tang Ye followed Song Qin into the courtyard. The security guard at the gate nearly ground his teeth upon seeing Tang Ye. He had been a guard there for 3 years and hadn't even spoken to the beautiful Song Qin. What was this kid's background that Song Qin was so polite to him? As they approached the guard, Song Qin gave him a look, signaling him to open the gate. The guard didn't dare to delay and immediately raised the gate. "Welcome home, Miss Song." This was the Floating Cloud Courtyard's special etiquette. Every member of the Song family received this greeting upon arrival. However, the usually aloof Song Qin had never responded, and this time was no different. She turned to Tang Ye and made an introduction. "This is Divine Dr. Tang. He will be the master of this place from now on. Grandfather specifically instructed us not to neglect him." The guard lowered his head and said, "Hello, Mr. Tang. Don't mention it. You've worked hard." Tang Ye was quite amiable and unpretentious, only showing his temper to ungrateful villains like the Gao family. They entered the Floating Cloud Courtyard, maids visible everywhere. The scenery within was even more exceptional. The decor resembled an ancient imperial palace, magnificent and luxurious. For an ordinary person, even a single day of enjoyment here would be the pinnacle of their life. At that moment, 3 maids carrying clothes approached Tang Ye. "Master Tang, please change your clothes." Tang Ye looked at them, puzzled. Song Qin smiled and explained, "It's a rule of Floating Cloud Courtyard. Every time we return, we change clothes to prevent outside dust from entering. This rule was set by grandfather, and there's nothing we can do." How troublesome. Tang Ye felt that clothes didn't matter. What mattered was inner substance. Even if one dressed up in expensive clothes without any real ability or money, they were still worthless. Tang Ye waved his hand and said, "No need. Let's abolish this rule from now on." The maids were stunned. Who was this man? How dare he abolish a rule set by the old man? Everyone knew that even the powerful Song Wanpeng had to lower his head in front of the old man. Judging by Tang Ye's attire, the maids could guess his status. "Tisish, just a kept man. What's there to be arrogant about?" Song Qin led him to a seat in the courtyard. The second floor offered a magnificent view. From there, they could see the myriad lights of Hangzhou. On the balcony, Song Qin opened a bottle of 82 Lafite and poured Tang Ye a glass. Swirling the red wine in his glass, Tang Ye leaned against the balcony railing. Song Qin then asked, "Divine Dr. Tang, you're so young. You must be unmarried, right?" "Just divorced," Tang Ye said with a chuckle. Upon hearing this, Song Qin's hand holding the wine glass paused. She looked at the man in astonishment, feeling indignant. She was curious what kind of woman could divorce Tang, and what kind of woman had once caught the eye of such a capable man. "Why did you get divorced? Was it incompatibility or something else?" Tang Ye took a sip of the wine. It tasted good, but he couldn't appreciate it. If it were incompatibility, he would consider it a blessing. But the truth was, he had served 3 years in prison for the woman he loved, only to receive divorce papers upon his release. It was a humiliating story to tell. Tang Ye sighed. "No, I couldn't give her the life she wanted. Perhaps it was fate." Under the dim light, the wine glass reflected Tang Ye's melancholic profile, making Song Qin even more curious about the woman. However, Tang Ye showed no intention of continuing. He didn't want to revisit those unpleasant memories. He let the frustration of his life go down with the wine in his glass. Whether it was bitter or sweet, only he knew. Dingxing building. 2 straight candles were lit in an ordinary private room. The room was dimly lit, with a Western meal and medium-rare steak laid out. Han Anfei cut a piece of steak and offered it to Gao Manyue. Yeah, I heard that this steak must be shared between 2 people to taste its true flavor. So, would you like to share the steak with me? This was obviously not about being stingy. Gao Manyue, an experienced player in the field of romance, knew this was just sweet talk. But for the sake of cooperation with the Han family, even without love, she opened her cherry lips and took a bite of the steak. Young Master Han, I've always heard you're romantic, but every time I'm with you, I discover you're not only romantic, but also very talented. Han Anfei was extremely pleased by these words. He confidently took out a box from behind him, containing a Saturn necklace. The moment the box opened, a unique light filled the room. Yeah, only you are worthy of this necklace. Only your beauty can make me so enamored. You should know that I, Han Anfei, don't easily fall for a girl. The girls around me are all stunningly beautiful, but of all the beauties, I choose only you. I hope you understand my feelings. Under the candlelight, gazing at the priceless Saturn necklace, Gao Manyue's heart stirred. Should she accept young Master Han? But she had just gotten divorced. At that moment, a face appeared in her mind. The man's name was Tang Yi. Chapter 16. Young Master Han, I understand your intentions. But I am a woman who just got divorced, someone like me. How can I be worthy of a young master like you? As for marriage, let's not be in too much of a hurry. Gao Manyue said softly, lowering her eyes. The firelight reflected on her pretty face. It was unclear whether she was secretly pleased or truly worried. Han Anfei took a deep breath and said firmly again, Yeah, let's not talk about unhappy things today. Since you don't have thoughts of marriage yet, I won't mention it anymore. This Saturn necklace, you must accept it, because it suits you very well. Gao Manyue nodded, not wanting to make Han Anfei lose face, nor wanting to spoil his mood. After dinner, Han Anfei drove Gao Manyue home. After an ambiguous farewell in front of the car, Han Anfei drove away. At this moment, his phone suddenly rang. Hey bro, I'm driving, what's up? The person calling was Han Anfei's older brother, Han Anshin. Han Anshin's personality was more calm and thoughtful compared to his younger brother. At least he wasn't so glib and never flirted around. Fei, where did you run off to fool around again today? Don't you know Grandpa's health hasn't been good recently? Why are you running around aimlessly? Han Anfei immediately explained, Bro, you really misunderstood me this time. I went to dinner with the female CEO of the Gao family. We've been dating recently. Don't you know? Han Anshin sighed, seeming even more disappointed hearing him say that. Usually, Han Anshin handles all the affairs of the Han family alone. The Han family is a large and prosperous family, so there is always a shortage of manpower. Coincidentally, recently old Master Han's health hasn't been very good, so he has become even busier. But this younger brother not only can't help at all, but also causes trouble everywhere. This time, he even got involved with the female CEO of the Gao family again. This made him, as the older brother, not know what to say. How are things going with you and the female CEO of the Gao family now? Have you considered marrying her? As soon as this topic was mentioned, Han Anfei scoffed disdainfully. Bro, you don't know? This little bitch from the Gao family, she really doesn't know what's good for her. I already showed her my good intentions just now. She actually played it coy and brushed off your brother with a few words. Isn't she just a divorced, stinky woman? What's so arrogant about her? Han Anfei didn't genuinely like Gao Manyue, but rather wanted to join forces with the Gao family to create some valuable business. However, Han Anshin didn't have too much hope for him either, and knew things would develop this way. All right. You hurry back. Grandpa's health has been getting worse these past 2 days. These past 2 days we've been searching for the legendary miracle doctor, but haven't found him yet. Han Anfei chuckled and said, Bro, is this miracle doctor really that amazing? I think he's hiding and secretive. He must be a fraud. Don't talk nonsense. How have I always taught you? You have no manners at all. Han Anshin immediately became serious. He usually does things meticulously and strongly opposes gossiping behind people's backs. At the entrance of the Gao family villa, the streetlights were dim, Gao Manyue's figure looked very lonely. She wondered if refusing young Master Han tonight was a wrong decision. But she seemed not too willing to remarry so simply. Perhaps it was a kind of guilt towards Tang Yi, or perhaps she didn't love young Master Han that much. Yo, daughter, the one who sent you back just now, was that young Master Han? Quickly tell me, how did things develop between you two tonight? Logically speaking, shouldn't you have stayed out tonight? Why did you come back? Chun Lanxiang didn't know when she stood behind Gao Manyue, looking very happy. Gao Manyue was stunned for a moment, and said with her head lowered, Mom, don't talk nonsense. My relationship with young Master Han hasn't developed that quickly yet. Chun Lanxiang muttered to herself again. Anyway, my daughter can only marry a young master like young Master Han. As for trash like Tang Yi, don't even think about it. In the past, let's just say our Gao family was blind and misjudged people. Gao Manyue was unwilling to mention Tang Yi's name again. From her melancholic eyes, Gao Manyue felt very troubled every time she heard Tang Yi's name. She quickly changed the subject. Mom, didn't you go to the hospital for a checkup? Is everything all right? Don't mention that to me. Chun Lanxiang crossed her arms in front of her chest, and her face instantly became ferocious. Tang Yi is good for nothing. Next time I see his face, I must teach him a good lesson. Let him know how powerful our Gao family is, and behave himself with his tail between his legs in the future. Gao Manyue didn't want to get involved with Tang Yi anymore. In fact, she didn't want anything related to Tang Yi in her world in the future. Mom, forget it. Don't go looking for him anymore in the future. We are already even. Saying that, Gao Manyue walked away from under the streetlight in her high heels. She pushed open the door and quickly entered the house. Chun Lanxiang saw this scene and started muttering to herself again. Could it be that she still has lingering feelings for that bastard Tang Yi? That would be terrible. It seems I need to add more fuel to the fire and have Gao Manyue and Han Anfei get married quickly. That way, she will have the Han family as her backing in the future and live a heavenly life. As for who Gao Manyue likes, or how Gao Manyue feels, Chun Lanxiang doesn't care at all. In her eyes, Gao Manyue is just a cash cow for their Gao family. Fight with me? You are still too naive. In the floating cloud villa, Song Qin finished her champagne in one gulp, looking at the quiet man on the balcony. Tang Yi, usually when you look at him, gives a sense of security of a mature man. But his profile is very handsome, especially in this kind of atmosphere. Tang Yi suddenly turned around, and the two looked at each other. Song Qin's eyes quickly darted away, and her phone rang at this moment. In a hurry, she picked up her phone from the table. Hello, uncle. It's so late. Is there something wrong? It was Song Wampeng. Song Wampeng called so late to ask if Tang Yi had arrived safely at Floating Cloud Villa. Hearing that he had been delivered, he breathed a sigh of relief. The second thing, Song Wampeng pondered for a moment, and then asked, Can you help me ask if Master Tang is free tomorrow? Our Song family has a banquet at Hangtian Garden. I hope he can come and attend this banquet. Okay, I understand. Song Qin hung up the phone. Chapter 17. Song Qin approached Tang Yi and asked, Divine Dr. Tang, are you free tomorrow? We'd like to invite you to a banquet tomorrow. We would be very honored if you could attend. Tang Yi swirled the drink in his glass and calmly replied, No need. Song Qin was momentarily at a loss for words. She knew Tang Yi wouldn't attend such a banquet, and such events seemed meaningless to someone like him. However, to fulfill her grandfather's request, she pulled an invitation from her bag. The invitation was ornate, reserved only for the most esteemed members of the Song family. Master Tang, please accept this invitation regardless. Even if you don't attend, at least it won't make others feel slighted. Tang Yi glanced at the invitation in Song Qin's hand and accepted it. A family as prominent as the Song family must have many guests at their banquets. At least half of Hang City's businesses, right? Tang Yi wasn't genuinely concerned about the Song family. He asked only to learn something else. Song Qin perked up at Tang Yi's question and dared not neglect him. Clearing her throat, she replied, The Song family has deep roots in Hang City, going back decades. While we're not nationally renowned, we do hold a prominent position here. Companies associated with the Song family include not only the three elders of Hang City, but also mid-sized families like the Han and Li families. Tang Yi nodded, unfazed. All right, and the Gao family, which has been gaining momentum this past year. However, Tang Yi's eyes flickered. However what? However, the Song family generally doesn't pay much attention to such small businesses. Also, I heard that CEO Gao just divorced her husband and is now trying to climb the social ladder with the Han family. We look down on such people. Song Qin's tone dripped with disdain, revealing her low opinion of the Gao family. Extremely low, in fact. She seemed to harbor an innate hatred for women who abandoned their partners for their careers. She continued, her voice filled with disgust. It's sickening that such a person will also be attending the banquet tomorrow. If it weren't for my uncle wanting to maintain appearances, someone like that wouldn't even be considered. Tang Ye chuckled. All right, that's enough. I'm not interested. Oh, Song Qin immediately stopped. Silence fell. She softly said, Master Tang, I'll take my leave then. If you have time tomorrow, please grace us with your presence. Tang Ye didn't respond directly, but gave a cold nod. Song Qin took one last look at the man before her, radiating an aura of security, and quickly left. Standing on the second floor, watching the BMW drive away, Tang Ye felt a mix of emotions. Not towards Song Qin, but towards tomorrow's banquet. Although he was divorced from Gao Manyue, thinking about the Song family's attitude towards her, he foresaw danger for the Gao family in the near future. But what could he do? He was an outsider. Then, Tang Ye received a text message. It was from an unknown number. Few people knew his number. However, the message was serious. Master, this is Han Dingwa of the Han family. You kindly treated the old man some years ago, but due to his age, his old illness has returned. He was once a meritorious official of the Dragon Kingdom. For his years of dedicated service to the nation, please, Master, lend your aid. Staring at the message, Tang Ye quickly recalled the token. It represented untold, supreme power. But Tang Ye hadn't revealed it to anyone. Since Han Dingwa mentioned the Dragon Kingdom, someone must have informed him. Tang Yi's fingers moved across the screen. Address. The reply came instantly. To demonstrate our sincerity, we will have the high-ranking officials and business leaders of Hang City as witnesses. We heard you are currently in the Hang City area. We will send someone to the Song family banquet tomorrow to personally escort you. Keep it low-key. Don't reveal your identity. Tang Ye put away his phone, ignoring further messages. He disliked such ostentation and drawing attention to himself. In prison, someone had taught him that grand gestures were often futile, while a low profile yielded unexpected results. Tang Ye always remembered these words. Therefore, after his release, he avoided publicity in all his endeavors. He would still attend tomorrow's banquet, partly to fulfill the invitation and partly to inquire about how Han Dingwa knew about the Dragon Kingdom and his identity. The next day, outside Floating Cloud Courtyard, a fleet of cars awaited, including an extended Maybach and dozens of BMWs, forming a procession along a red carpet. Clearly, this was to welcome Tang Ye. However, at the entrance, Tang Ye glanced at the display and said to Song Wanping, "Dismiss the motorcade. I'll go alone. Don't follow me." Song Wanping was taken aback. He stepped forward and said, "Master Tang, this is all to welcome you. Dismiss it. It's unnecessary." Tang Ye was firm. Helpless, Song Wanping could only comply. He offered to accompany Tang Ye, but Tang Ye refused. Such a grand display would quickly expose Tang Ye's identity. To achieve his purpose, he insisted on going alone. Song Wanping sighed and waved his hand. Song Qin dismissed the motorcade. "Let's go ahead and make preparations." Then, with a friendly smile, he said, "Master, we'll head back now." Tang Ye replied, and with hands in his pockets, quickly walked away. The motorcade departed. On the street, Chen Lanxiang and her son, Gao Qingbin, were also on their way to the Song family banquet. Gao Qingbin, his face still bearing the marks of a slap, seemed reluctant. "Mom, my face is still bruised from that slap. How can I show my face at such a grand banquet at the Song families?" Chen Lanxiang said sternly, "Son, you must understand that this is the Song family's banquet. We might have a chance to meet the Song family patriarch. I'm taking you to broaden your horizons." As she spoke, Chen Lanxiang glanced up and noticed a familiar figure on the road leading to the Song residence. Chapter 18. His figure looked poor and shabby, something she had thoroughly despised for years. She blinked, making sure she wasn't mistaken, then grabbed Gao Changbin beside her. Son, look at the person in front. Isn't that Tang Yi, that ex-convict? Mom, Tang Yi, that ex-convict probably rolled out of Hangzhou long ago. How could he be here? Gao Qingbin's face was filled with disdain at the name. Following the direction Chun Lanxiang pointed, he looked over, and he was shocked when he saw. Sometimes you really have to thank the world for being small to actually run into Tang Yi, that bastard here. Mom, it really is that ex-convict. How could he be here? Chun Lanxiang frowned deeply. You're asking me. How would I know? But the matter of him hitting me yesterday, we can settle it today. Let's go, son. Chun Lanxiang spoke through gritted teeth, immediately rolling up her sleeves, a shrewish aura emanating from head to toe. Gao Qingbin beside her was naturally the same, following behind Chun Lanxiang, already starting to plan how to make his move later. The two walked on but suddenly noticed something was wrong. Tang, he actually stopped in front of the Song family villa's gate. Could it be he's also here to attend the banquet? Chun Lanxiang immediately stopped and pulled Gao Qingbin back, whispering, Son, wait a moment. What's up, Mom? If we go late, that kid will run away later. Chun Lanxiang paused, then whispered, Son, what is Tang Yi doing sneakily at the Song family gate? Looks like he wouldn't be thinking of going in, would he? How is that possible? Gao Qingbin said with a face of disdain. With Tang Yi's ex-convict identity, how could he be qualified to attend such a high-class banquet of the Song family? He wouldn't even dare to scare himself to death. The two spoke, then quieted down to observe Tang Yi's movements. Outside the Song family villa, several security guards were arranged to be responsible for security. Given the Song family's status in Hangzhou, they didn't need to personally come out to greet these guests. Letting these few security guards be responsible was enough. This is the Song family banquet. Irrelevant people are not allowed to enter. A security guard stopped Tang Yi outside, extending a hand to block him. The Song family is indeed a big and powerful family. Even the security guards at the door are exceptionally arrogant. It seemed they had a sense of when one achieves the Tao, even their pets ascend to heaven, not even glancing at Tang Yi properly. Tang Yi said calmly, The Song family invited me to come. Several security guards were stunned at the same time, suspecting their ears had misheard. This kid actually dared to say the Song family invited him? You must know that for today's banquet, the Song family had not invited anyone. They were all others eagerly coming here to give gifts. With Tang Yi's poor appearance, a complete loser, would the Song family invite such a person? All right, hurry up and leave here. We are all quite busy. No one wants to listen to you brag here. The security guard said, about to push Tang Yi away from the gate. Another security guard directly mocked. Amazing, bragging really doesn't require paying taxes. Otherwise, you'd probably be so poor you couldn't even afford to wear this set of rags. Tang Yi frowned, glancing at this security guard. Don't speak too confidently. We are all ordinary people. There's no need for anyone to look down on anyone. The security guard looked down on Tang Yi even more upon hearing this. Yo, who is an ordinary person like you? Do you know whose house is behind here? It's the Song family. Don't even mention being a security guard for the Song family. Even being a dog for the Song family, I would be willing. Tang Yi took out an invitation card from his clothes and threw it to the security guard in front of him. It's none of my business if you are willing to be a dog. But if you continue to talk nonsense, I can indeed make you be a dog. The security guard took the invitation card in his hand, clearly seeing the large characters written on it. Tang Yi. Master Tang? You are Master Tang? How could you? The other security guards immediately changed their expressions upon hearing it was Tang Yi, their eyes full of surprise. They had been specifically instructed that a special person would be coming today, and for them to properly receive him. These security guards were stunned. They had not expected Tang Yi to actually be a person who looked even lower class than them. In their experience, everyone entering the Song family more or less had some ability and dressed very richly. But this Tang Yi said calmly, Don't you like being a dog for people? I want to hear 2 dog barks now. Woof, woof, woof. The security guard beside him immediately barked. All right, stop barking. Take me in. The few people stopped and led Tang Yi into the Song family's gate. Mom, I didn't see wrong, did I? Tang Yi really went into the Song family gate? Gao Qingbin's shocked eyes almost popped out. Son, Mom saw it too. Could it be this Tang, he has some relationship with the Song family? Chen Lanxiang pondered, thinking for a good while. A person like Tang Yi, to actually be able to enter such a high-class place of the Song family and even be led in by several security guards. Then, there is only one thing that makes sense. Son, Tang, he must have done something shady. Look at his sneaky appearance just now, and the thing he took out from his clothes, it must be that he bribed these few security guards. If Mom hasn't guessed wrong, this ex-convict must be unable to survive and is preparing to come to this kind of banquet to freeload. Gao Qingbin nodded vigorously after hearing this. Mom, I also think what you said makes sense. We can just take advantage of this opportunity today to properly teach this kid a lesson. Let him know my power. Chen Lanxiang immediately became serious upon hearing this. Son, today is the Song family's banquet. We can't offend the Song family. After we go in later, let's quietly follow behind him and wait until the banquet is over. Then the two of us can properly teach him a lesson. Okay. These two also quickly followed in. After Tang, he entered the Song family. He was led by the security guards to the courtyard behind the villa. Song Wamping saw Tang Yi at a glance among the crowd, immediately put down what he was doing, and walked over. Divine Dr. Tang, I didn't expect you to actually come. I am really overjoyed. Quick, come upstairs with me and have a seat. I have 100-year-old good tea, and I want to invite you to personally taste it. Under everyone's gaze, Song Wampung made a gesture of invitation to Tang Yi. No need. I'll just sit anywhere. You go ahead and be busy with your things. Chapter 19. How can this be? Master Tang. The old master specifically instructed that I must personally receive you. Song Wamping looked troubled. Tang Yi coughed and said calmly, I don't like having people around me at these kinds of banquets. You go ahead and do your thing. Saying that, Tang Yi turned his back and sat down in a small corner. Song Wamping sighed. Since Tang Yi didn't want him to follow, he had no choice but to get busy. This divine Dr. Tang certainly had a strange temper. Having achieved so much, he didn't show off at all. Tang Yi sat in the corner, took out his phone, and looked at the text message he had received. The message was from Han Dinghua. Master Tang, I've arrived. Are you at the banquet? Yes. Tang Yi replied simply before closing the phone screen and sitting in the chair. Looking at the delicacies on the table, Tang Yi realized he was a bit hungry after traveling for so long. So he picked up a fork and began to eat. The way he devoured the food made the servants nearby look at him with disgust. The servants had seen too many of these banquets. The people who came were all high-class individuals, and no one ate like him. He was acting like a bandit. After a while, Chen Lanxiang and her son also came in. As soon as they entered, they were stunned. This was not a banquet. It was paradise on earth. Everyone they passed was worth at least tens of millions, some even over 100 million. For the Gao family, seeing this scene was like a frog in a well seeing the ocean. The expensive red wine on the tables, each bottle costing hundreds of thousands, filled several tables. Mom! So this is the Song family. I've really learned something today. Thanks for bringing me. Gao Qingbing stood there dumbfounded. The more shocked he was, the wider his mouth opened. Chen Lanxiang shook her head, snapped out of her stupor, and said, Son, we can look at these things later. The most important thing is to find Tang Yi, that bastard, and see how I properly humiliate him today. That's right, Mom. Let's go find Tang Yi quickly. The two of them came back to their senses and were about to go looking for Tang Yi when they saw a very familiar face in the crowd. The man was of medium height, wearing a black suit, holding a glass of red wine. He was about 50 years old, and, while prosperous-looking, wasn't as well off as Song Wamping. This was the head of the Han family, Han Dinghua, also Han Anfei's father. Seeing this person, Chen Lanxiang stopped in her tracks. Wasn't this going to be Man Yu's future father-in-law? She had to pay attention to him for Man Yu's sake. Wearing high heels, she quickly walked to Chen Lanxiang's side. Hello, head of the Han family. Han Dinghua's solemn face was clearly stunned for a moment. You are? Our Man Yu has been dating young Master Han recently. I'm Man Yu's mother. Chen Lanxiang said this with great pride. She planned to go all out today, hoping her daughter could marry into the Han family soon and have a better life. Oh, I don't remember very clearly. However, Han Dinghua didn't seem to care much about this matter. It must be his younger son Han Anfei's affairs outside. He didn't need to pay too much attention to these women. The most important thing at today's banquet was to find the legendary divine doctor. As for the others, except for Song Wanpeng, he didn't pay them any attention. Chen Lanxiang looked embarrassed, her smile frozen on her face for a long time. She gave another awkward smile and was about to continue the conversation, when Gao Qingbing pulled her sleeve and whispered, "Mom, I saw Tangi. He's over there." Chen Lanxiang perked up and immediately looked in the direction Gao Qingbing pointed. Sure enough, sitting in the corner was a poor-looking man with a coarse and unbearable way of eating, still exuding that kind of uselessness. It was Tang Yi, no doubt. Chen Lanxiang turned around and smiled. "Head of the Han family, do you know there's an ex-convict at today's banquet?" An ex-convict? Han Dingwa's thick eyebrows furrowed as he glared at the gossiping woman. "What ex-convict?" Chen Lanxiang pointed at Tang Yi in the corner and whispered, "Head of the Han family, that's the ex-convict. Be careful today and don't get too close to him, lest you get bad luck." Chen Lanxiang was being a little too attentive, wanting to show everything to Han Dingwa. In her eyes, this kind of big shot wasn't an ordinary person. He was like a god. "Okay." Han Dingwa glanced at her. "I have something to do. You should also be careful." With that, he quickly left. In Han Dingwa's eyes, Chen Lanxiang seemed more like a mentally ill person than Tang Yi, the ex-convict. "Goodbye, head of the Han family." After sending Han Dingwa off, Chen Lanxiang immediately rolled up her sleeves. "Son, let's go. There aren't many people here now. Get that bastard kicked out. Otherwise, when Manu comes, some unpleasant things might be revealed." Gao Qingbing nodded and followed Chen Lanxiang. Just as Tang Yi was enjoying his food, his plate was suddenly snatched away. "What are you eating? You ex-convict. Who let you eat here? Get out of here now." Chen Lanxiang held up the plate with a disgusted look. Tang Yi hadn't swallowed the food in his mouth yet. He looked at Chen Lanxiang in front of him and Gao Qingbing glaring at him. He quickly realized what was happening. These two were here to cause trouble. It seemed the lesson he taught them last time wasn't enough. Tang Yi spat out the food in his mouth and used the napkin on the table to wipe his mouth. He stood up and glared at Chen Lanxiang. "What? Didn't get beaten enough last time? You're back for more?" Chen Lanxiang chuckled. "An ex-convict is an ex-convict. Do you know what kind of occasion this is? If you dare to hit someone here, Song Wanpeng will kill you in a matter of minutes. Don't you look at your own status? Are you worthy of eating the food on this plate? It's not your house. What does it have to do with you?" Tang Yi said coldly. Chen Lanxiang looked at Tang Yi's appearance, despising him from head to toe. "What does it have to do with me? Tang Yi, beg me today, and I won't expose your identity as a pauper, so you can continue eating here. If you continue to be so arrogant, believe it or not, I'll have you kicked out of here right now." Tang Yi was amused by her idiotic appearance. "I beg you." Chapter 20. Chen Lanxiang. "Oh, Chen Lanxiang, you're really a fucking idiot. You better apologize to me today, or I swear I'll make you eat this plate." Tang Yi's eyes were filled with killing intent. He had truly reached the end of his patience with Chen Lanxiang and her son. Gao Qingbin, who was beside them, heard Tang Yi curse Chen Lanxiang, and his petty temper immediately flared up. He stepped forward and said, "Tang Yi, I see you haven't learned your lesson in prison. If you dare say another word, believe me, I'll tear your mouth apart." Tang Yi sneered. "Say another word, so what? Don't just say one word. Even if it's 100, your mother is still an idiot. Not only is your mother an idiot, you're a moron too." Tang Yi's vulgar language quickly drew everyone's attention. These were all upper-class people, and they rarely heard such curses. As for someone like Tang Yi, using such foul language in public, especially at the Song family's banquet, he was the first and only one. Who is this guy? Doesn't he have any manners at all? He dares to cause trouble at the Song family's banquet. It seems he doesn't want to live. Sigh, the scum of society are just like this. Those who were enjoying the drama began to gossip. Some even said to Chen Lanxiang and her son that they should just consider it as meeting with misfortune. Chen Lanxiang saw that so many people were on her side. Today, she would definitely skin Tang Yi alive. "What's going on? So noisy." Just then, a voice came from the crowd. A woman walked out from the crowd, wearing a bodycon dress, holding a glass of red wine, with light makeup but still the most beautiful woman in the entire venue. Everyone who saw such a beauty couldn't help but gasp. Miss Song Qin actually came to the banquet today. Seeing Miss Song Qin up close, she really is a natural beauty. This is not an ordinary person. She's simply a goddess. If I could marry such a woman, even if I die under a peony flower, I'd be a romantic ghost. Chun Lanxiang recognized the woman in front of her as Song Qin at a glance. She went to Song Qin's side without hesitation and said with a flattering expression, "Miss Song, this swindler actually came to the Song family to freeload. Luckily, I discovered it. I'm helping you drive him out." Song Qin glanced at Chun Lanxiang. This woman with a pointy face and monkey-like features reeked of old-fashioned perfume, which was very pungent. Her first impression of this woman was extremely bad. If it weren't for the numerous guests present, her first words would have been to reprimand Chun Lanxiang right there. However, everyone was watching how this Song family's eldest daughter, who was so highly regarded, would deal with a freeloader like Tang Yi. She raised her beautiful eyes and took a look and was instantly stunned. It turned out that this old woman Chun Lanxiang was arguing with Tang Yi. Heavens, what a mess! The Song family had finally managed to invite Master Tang to attend the banquet, but before it even started, he was insulted by Chun Lanxiang. Not only did she insult him herself, but she even came to her side to take credit. If Tang Yi misunderstood, then even if the Song family kowtowed until their heads bled, Tang Yi would never help them again in the future. Slap! Without saying a word, Song Qin decisively slapped Chun Lanxiang across the face. "You blind woman, this is divine, Dr. Tang. When did it become your place to interfere in the Song family's affairs?" In front of everyone, Song Qin's slap was incredibly loud. Everyone who saw this scene was stunned. Miss Song Qin looked so beautiful and ethereal, yet she was so ruthless. This was an old woman. If this slap broke her, then wouldn't Miss Song's delicate and tender fingers hurt a lot? Song Qin gently bit her lip, walked to Tang Yi's side, and bowed deeply without hesitation, not raising her head for a long time. "Master Tang, I'm sorry. This is our negligence. Please don't be angry. I will resolve this issue immediately." Everyone was dumbfounded. The Song family's eldest daughter actually apologized to a loser? Whispers immediately broke out in the crowd. Some people were even completely bewildered, wondering if Song Qin was real. Chun Lanxiang had even forgotten the pain in her face. Her face was filled with disbelief. Looking at Tang Yi, this poor loser in front of her, Miss Song Qin would actually bow to him and apologize? And even say things like asking Tang Yi not to be angry? How could this be possible? In Chun Lanxiang's impression, Tang Yi was a pushover, a useless piece of trash, even a sucker. But at this moment, Chun Lanxiang's worldview and facial features twisted in disbelief. She never imagined that Tang Yi was actually a hidden divine doctor? Fake. It must be fake. It must be this kid Tang Yi who deceived the Song family's eldest daughter. Chun Lanxiang covered her burning face, unwillingly went to Song Qin's side. "Miss Song, I think you must have misunderstood. How could this person be a divine doctor? He's a former convict who's been freeloading at our house for a long time." Slap! Before Chun Lanxiang could continue speaking, another slap landed on her face. Gao Qingbin beside her was also terrified. He knew this was at the Song family's place, and the person in front of him was Song Qin, a woman worth hundreds of millions. Even if Chun Lanxiang was slapped a few more times today, he wouldn't dare to say anything. He silently walked over and pulled Chun Lanxiang aside. At this moment, Song Qin came to Tang Yi's side again and said cautiously, "Master Tang, I am truly sorry. I will immediately make these two people disappear from your sight." Tang Yi glanced at Chun Lanxiang and her son and sighed. "No need. I'm no longer in the mood to eat. I'll go back first." After such a commotion, Tang Yi was quickly exposed to the crowd, which was the last thing he wanted. So now he just wanted to leave and go to a quiet place. Hearing that Tang Yi was leaving, Song Qin immediately stood in front of Tang Yi and said gently, "Master Tang, are you angry? It's all my fault today. I'm sorry." Tang Yi calmly looked at the woman in front of him, shook his head and said, "It's not your fault. It has nothing to do with you. It's just that I've had enough." Song Qin frowned and continued, But today my uncle also prepared a special surprise." "What surprise?" Tang Yi seemed to perk up slightly at the word surprise, showing a hint of interest. Chapter 21. Today, Uncle is prepared to properly introduce you in front of all the entrepreneurs of Hangzhou. Incidentally, we also want to thank you for saving my grandfather. That's not necessary. I'm not interested in this kind of occasion. Tang Yi said this, and prepared to leave. At this moment, Song Wamping also arrived in the crowd, quickly stepping forward and grabbing Tang Yi's arm. Master Tang, the banquet hasn't started yet. There's no rush to leave. This is also something grandfather specifically instructed. He insisted that Master Tang personally attend. Chun Lanxiang and the others saw Song Wamping acting so subservient towards Tang Yi, which she really couldn't understand. Having lived with Tang Yi for so many years, she believed no one understood him better than her. There must be something fishy going on. Either the Song family had made a mistake, or this kid Tang Yi had learned some deceitful tricks in prison these past few years. She had to expose Tang Yi's deceptive facade and trample on his dignity in front of everyone. Only then could she relieve the hatred in her heart. Watching Song Wamping extend a hand again, he said in front of everyone, "Divine Dr. Tang, you must attend today's banquet. Just consider it giving our Song family some face. I beg you, Divine Dr. Tang." Tang Yi took a deep breath and said, "Since that's the case, then I'll stay for a short while. But not too long. I have other things to do today." Seeing Tang Yi agree, Song Wamping immediately became excitedly thrilled. "Yes, yes, yes. I promise it won't delay Master's time." Accompanied by Song Wamping and Song Qin, the group quickly left. The commotion quickly died down because of their departure. Only Chun Lanxiang remained, staring fiercely in the direction Tang Yi left. Damn it, this damned swindler. Not only did he deceive the Gao family, he even dares to deceive the renowned Song family. I think you're tired of living. Today, no matter what, I'll make you wish you were dead. Just then, behind Chun Lanxiang, a voice suddenly sounded. "Oh, Aunt, what are you doing here?" Chun Lanxiang turned around to see Han Anfei. His rich young master aura immediately made Chun Lanxiang's cross-expression turn fawning. "Oh, isn't this young Master Han? I just chatted with your father, Patriarch Han. Why, didn't I see Manu come with you?" Han Anfei was momentarily stunned. Today was such a grand occasion at the Song family. Why would he appear with other women? Moreover, today there was a woman even more attractive than Gao Manyue. This woman was the Song family's eldest daughter, Song Qin. Rumor had it that Miss Song was intelligent and capable, as beautiful as a flower, one of the top beauties in Hangzhou. Han Anfei had long wanted a chance to climb up to such a powerful family like the Song family, and he had long coveted Song Qin. If one day he could obtain Song Qin, then he naturally wouldn't look at that good-for-nothing Gao Manyue. Han Anfei said with a cold face. "Manyue just called and said she has something to do and might be a little late." Chun Lanxiang nodded, thankfully saying, That's good. That's good. Aunt, what's wrong? You look so tense." Chun Lanxiang looked at Han Anfei, momentarily unsure how to answer. The phrase, "honesty is the best policy," quickly flashed through her mind. Currently, the Han family was subservient to the Gao family, and there couldn't be any misunderstandings. "Young Master Han, you know Manyue has an ex-husband who was in prison." I know. That convict is at this banquet today. That kid doesn't know what lies he used to deceive Miss Song Qin." When Chun Lanxiang mentioned Tang Yi, her expression automatically turned hateful. She continued, "Miss Song might be temporarily deceived, but if we seize this opportunity to expose this swindler's true face." Han Anfei's face suddenly lit up with a secret joy. He had heard before that Gao Manyue had an ex-husband who was in prison. This ex-husband was extremely useless, very cowardly, and received Gao Manyue's divorce papers the day he was released. Hearing Chun Lanxiang say this, a perfect logic immediately formed in Han Anfei's mind. That was, this convict, having left the Gao family, was now almost down and out and could only risk everything to deceive Miss Song for support. Thinking deeper, if Miss Song's heart was about to be stolen by this kid, then he would completely lose his chance. No way. This convict absolutely could not be allowed to succeed. "Aunt, I also think we can't let him succeed." Han Anfei quickly got on board, determined not to miss this opportunity. Chun Lanxiang thought for a moment and said, "Young Master Han, the Song family is holding a banquet right now. It wouldn't be good to disturb them." The slap on Chun Lanxiang's face still stung. Han Anfei nodded and said, "Then what do you suggest?" "In my opinion, let's wait and see. After the banquet ends, we'll take this kid to the Song family and expose his ugly face right in front of them. Hearing Chen Lanxiang's plan, Han Anfei immediately thought it was feasible. So he immediately expressed his agreement. Okay, no problem. The banquet was about to begin. The three quickly caught up and sat down at the guest seats. On stage, after the host recited some opening pleasantries, it was finally Song Wanping's turn to give a speech. The atmosphere was solemn, and everyone in the audience stood up, except for Tang Yi, who was still munching on an apple, calmly watching Song Wanping's speech. Everyone, the purpose of today's banquet is not for business plans, nor is it for family interests. Today is a grand occasion. It's the joyous day of our grandfather's recovery. Everyone applauded in unison, even though this matter had nothing to do with them. They did this to curry favor with the Song family. At this moment, while clapping, Chen Lanxiang noticed Tang Yi sitting in the first row of guest seats. She quickly pointed. Young Master Han, do you see? It's that convict. He's actually sitting next to Miss Song Qin. Han Anfei's eyes almost popped out. Wow. Han Anfei, was a young master after all. In all these years, he had never spoken directly to Miss Song. Chapter 22. This bastard is actually sitting calmly next to Miss Song. Damn liar. At this moment, Song Qin leaned closer to Tang Yi, wanting to know what charm this man possessed. Even at such a grand event, sitting next to her, there was not a trace of nervousness or arrogance on his face. Song Qin smiled, looked up at Tang Yi's profile, and asked, Divine Dr. Tang, how do you feel about today's banquet? Tang Yi glanced around. The whole venue was pretty good, and everything was expensive, but there was one thing he was not satisfied with. He held the half-eaten apple in his hand and said, Everything else is pretty good, but this apple isn't as sweet as I imagined. At this time, Song Qin's assistant walked over with a list of attendees for today's banquet. President Song, most of the entrepreneurs in Hangzhou are here today. Only Miss Gao Manyue from the Gao family hasn't arrived yet, but she seems to be on her way. Song Qin coldly glanced at the name on the list. To be so neglectful of our Song family's banquet, I see this Miss Gao is nothing special. If she doesn't come, then she doesn't come. Close the doors of the Song family now, and don't let any irrelevant people disturb the banquet. Yes, the assistant immediately went to carry out the order. Tang Yi, who was on the side, also heard the name Gao Manyue. Song Qin quickly noticed and looked up to ask, What's wrong? Master Tang? Nothing, just thought of something ridiculous. However, Han Anfei, watching the two from behind, was grinding his back teeth. This ex-convict is really damn deserving of death. Miss Song Qin's captivating smile is what so many people dream of. This ex-convict is actually pretending, not even glancing at her. Chen Lanxiang noticed Han Anfei's expression and thought he was upright and couldn't stand seeing a swindler like Tang Yi getting away with it. Chen Lanxiang comforted him. Young Master Han, don't worry. Once the banquet is over, it won't be long before we make this swindler receive the punishment he deserves. Han Anfei nodded, his gaze still hostile towards Tang Yi. On the stage, Song Wanping's voice was loud and clear. He had already reached the important part, and everyone was listening attentively. Thank goodness for giving my father a second life. So today's banquet is to give back to society, to allow more people in suffering to escape their misery. Song Wanping gave the assistant beside him at the banquet a look. The assistant immediately understood and brought over a document. This document was the ultimate purpose of this meeting. Charitable donations to give back to society. Therefore, I, Song Wanping, here donate 100 million yuan to impoverished mountain areas in my personal name. As soon as these words came out, everyone in the audience thought Song Wanping was crazy. Donating 100 million yuan might not be much to these entrepreneurs, but donating in a personal name meant deducting from personal assets. Everyone knew the Song family was rich, and Song Wanping was even richer. But no one expected Song Wanping to casually donate such a sky-high figure of 100 million. Everyone was stunned. Bravo! Bravo! At this moment, someone in the crowd immediately started cheering along. This person was Han Dinghua. Han Dinghua first gave Song Wanping's actions an exquisite flattery. Then he took out a pen and a check from his expensive suit. Today, taking advantage of Chairman Song's donation opportunity, I, Han Dinghua, also decided to donate 80 million for charity. Firstly, it's for my family's elder, and the second reason, naturally, I hope a certain important figure present today can see my sincerity. That important figure specifically instructed that their identity should not be revealed today. Therefore, I dare not say more. Everyone in the audience gasped. They were not surprised by the important figure Han Dingwa mentioned, but by the fact that he actually took out a check for 80 million. They didn't expect the Han family to have developed so well and with such momentum in recent years. But coming back to their senses, they wondered if the Han family had developed so well because of the important figure he mentioned. The crowd didn't think about it anymore, because in Hangzhou, several families that have developed well are more or less supported by some important figures behind the scenes. Chen Lanxiang saw so much money, 100 million, 80 million. This money was just donated to others. It would be better if it was all given to her. Sometimes she really didn't understand these rich people. As soon as they have money, they like to do charity. Having done charity for so many years, there's still many poor people. Especially people like Tang Yi, that bastard, not only poor, but also an ex-convict and even a swindler. She looked at the handsome Han Anfei beside her and smiled. Young Master Han, your father is so generous. The Han family is really big and prosperous. Han Anfei smiled disdainfully, looking at the woman in front of him who had never seen the world. Han Anfei joked, "This is nothing. 80 million is just pocket change for our family." Just pocket change? Chen Lanxiang almost petrified on the spot when she heard this. You know, the total assets of the Gao family added up are only 100 million. This small donation for the Song family could already buy the entire Gao family. Chen Lanxiang secretly decided that she must hold on to the Han family's thigh tightly. In the future, she will definitely have good food and drinks, and plenty of gold and silver jewelry. When she is rich, she doesn't need to make these donations. She will spend all the money on buying jewelry. To be a proper rich person. After the Han family's donation was completed. Next, Song Wampeng continued his speech. Chapter 23. And today, I'd like to introduce a special guest, someone I also greatly respect. Although he is young, he possesses remarkable capabilities. As he spoke, Song Wampeng extended a hand towards Tang Yi, who was beside Song Qin. Everyone's gaze converged on that spot. At this moment, everyone shared a single question. When did a loser like this sneak into such a high-class Song family banquet? Wait a minute. Could the young man Song Wampeng was referring to actually be this unremarkable-looking person? Who is this guy? I've never seen him before. Judging by his appearance, he doesn't seem to be from the upper class. Could he be a child sponsored by Chairman Song? Everyone held their breath, their minds racing, trying to figure out Tang Yi's identity. They had considered every possible explanation. However, none of them seemed quite plausible. The only person Song Wampeng would personally introduce on such an occasion, besides his father, old Mr. Song, was practically no one else in all of Hangzhou. Everyone scrutinized the young man again. He was sitting in the middle of the guests of honor, accompanied by Miss Song Qin. Yet, from head to toe, he was dressed in rags. A black t-shirt, faded blue shorts, and not even a watch to signify his social status. How could such a person deserve a personal introduction from Song Wampeng? Chen Lanxiang's blood boiled at the sight. Tang Yi. Chen Lanxiang gritted her teeth, practically fuming. This bastard was still putting on an act. If Song Wampeng wasn't speaking, she would have rushed up and told everyone that Tang Yi was a thug, a con man who had deceived her daughter and was now deceiving the Song family. He was also a despised ex-convict. Then, Song Wampeng continued his introduction. Everyone from now on, all donations will be handled by Mr. Tang. Furthermore, the money I, Song Wampeng, donate is the same as the money Mr. Tang donates. From this day forward, the doors of the Song family will always be open to Mr. Tang. Song Wampeng finished his speech with an air of dignity. The audience, however, fell silent, all eyes fixed on Tang Yi. He seemed completely oblivious to Song Wampeng's words, preoccupied with thoughts of when he could leave the banquet. He was always uncomfortable in crowded places, and he ignored all the stares directed at him. Just then, Han Anfei's voice broke the silence. How much does Mr. Tang plan to donate today? At this question, all eyes turned to Han Anfei. His father, Han Anghua, also looked at his son with a frown. Everyone waited in silence for Tang Yi's reply. Song Wampeng, however, was tense. Where did this little punk come from? daring to question a guest of honor at the Song family banquet. Tang Yi remained silent. Finally, Song Qin whispered in his ear. "What?" Tang Yi startled awake, as if from a dream. He had no idea what had just transpired. He only remembered Song rambling on with a bunch of polite platitudes. Before Tang Yi could react, Han Fei pressed further. "Mr. Tang, this is the Song family's banquet. Please try to stay present. It appears as though you're disrespecting Chairman Song. Also, Chairman Song and my father have both made donations. It seems Chairman Song intends to entrust the donated funds to you. I would like to ask, how much has Mr. Tang contributed to this donation?" Tang Yi sat in the front row, without turning to look at Han Fei. He simply listened to his voice coming from behind. When Han Fei finished, he sighed. "Do I have to donate too?" This remark struck some as incredibly arrogant. Song Wanpeng had already donated, and this young man should at least make a symbolic contribution. To say such a thing in this setting was undoubtedly a sign of disrespect, not only to the guests, but also to Song Wanpeng. "Mr. Tang, are you saying you intend to freeload?" Han Fei inquired. "Freeload what?" Han Fei patiently continued. "Freeload off the 180 million yuan that was just donated?" 180 million yuan? Tang Yi frowned and looked at Song Qin. She immediately understood. She had been watching him and noticed he was completely lost in thought. Leaning close, she whispered a brief summary of what had happened. This scene further infuriated the onlookers. Miss Song Qin was personally explaining things to him and leaning against him so intimately. Preposterous. Tang Yi grasped the gist of the situation. He smiled faintly and said, "I think I'll pass." Everyone was taken aback. Why? Because a little bit here and there won't make much of a difference. Silence fell over the room as everyone stared at Tang Yi, dumbfounded. Then, laughter erupted. "Ha ha! Is this kid a comedian? Or is he here just to liven things up?" At this point, Han Fei, seemingly understanding everything, couldn't wait to seize this opportunity to expose Tang Yi and climb the social ladder by ingratiating himself with the Song family. He exchanged a look with his father. "Don't worry. Everything's under control." Han Dinghua looked at his younger son in bewilderment as Han Fei walked onto the stage. Pointing at Tang Yi, he declared loudly, "I knew you couldn't come up with the money. Because you're a complete fraud. You're not just a fraud. You're an ex-convict. You spent 3 years in prison, and now that you can't make a living, you're latching onto the Song family. Today, in front of everyone, I'm going to expose you for the loser you are." The crowd gasped in astonishment. What? A fraud? And an ex-convict? Who would be so audacious as to deceive a family like the Song family? Every guest present was a prominent figure in Hangzhou. Any one of them could earn in a single day what most ordinary people earned in a lifetime. Chapter 24. All eyes turned to Tang Yi. Unexpectedly, the Song family would invite a reformed prisoner to sit in the guest seat. After such a big blunder, the Song family will really become a laughingstock in Hangzhou. But this swindler is too composed. He's been exposed like this. Yet this kid hasn't said a word. Is his mouth so stubborn? It seems the Song family still needs to use harsher methods. Song Qin's brow furrowed, which happened to be seen by Han Fei. Seeing Song Qin's nervous look, he increasingly believed that his guess was correct. Perhaps Song Qin had actually suspected the authenticity of this kid for a long time, but lacked evidence. And him exposing him in front of everyone was undoubtedly doing the Song family a huge favor. From now on, he will have a place in Miss Song Qin's eyes, leaving behind a good image of being brave and discerning. Maybe he can even take this opportunity to climb up the Song family's high branches and let the Han family soar into the sky to become the second largest family in Hangzhou. Song Qin's heart sank, and a chill ran down her spine. She immediately stopped him. "All right, stop talking. Master Tang is not the kind of person you say. I know what I'm doing." Han Fei sighed in heartache, seeing that Song Qin was still kept in the dark. She really traded intelligence for beauty. She's so clueless. "Miss Song, please don't worry. I swear in the name of our Han family, I am absolutely not mistaken. Tang Yi, this person, is a complete scoundrel and worthy of being called master by you. Why doesn't he take a piss and look at himself? Does he have the face of a master? I think he just has the face of a pauper. Saying that, Han Anfei took 2 steps to Tang Yi's side, staring at him, and said, "It's not that I'm insulting you today. It's just that you dare to deceive Miss Song. I really can't stand it." Tang Yi glanced at him. "You can't stand it, so what?" Han Anfei sneered. "Are you admitting it by default? With everyone here as witnesses. You kid didn't deny what I said. You are a liar. Call me Grandpa 3 times, and I'll let you go today." Everyone silently watched Tang Yi, and for Han Anfei's performance just now, everyone gave him a thumbs up in their hearts. They didn't care whether Tang Yi was a liar today or not. It was just that he was sitting next to Miss Song Qin, and his indifferent attitude towards Miss Song Qin was enough to make everyone envious, jealous, and hateful of him. Coincidentally, Han Anfei dropped this bomb at this time, making everyone feel much better. Song Qin's eyes trembled, not knowing what to do for a moment. Song Wamping on the side was also so frightened that he took out a handkerchief to wipe the sweat from his face. If old Master Song were here today, he would definitely be angered into illness again. At this moment, Tang Yi chuckled and looked at Song Qin beside him. "Is this the Song family's way of treating guests? Or is this whole play today deliberately arranged by you?" As soon as these words came out, Song Qin felt extremely wronged. Han Anfei's lips moved slightly, still wanting to continue speaking. If he was allowed to continue speaking, it would be terrible. "Shut up," Song Qin roared. Han Anfei said, "Did you hear that? Miss Song Qin told you to shut up. Now, it's not your turn, you good-for-nothing, to speak. I told you to shut up." Han Anfei came back to his senses and found that Song Qin's eyes were staring at him fiercely. This cold gaze made him feel a burst of panic in his heart. "What? What's going on?" "Miss Song Qin, I slap." Before Han Anfei could explain, Song Qin swiftly slapped him in the face. "Today is our Song family's banquet, not your Han family's turn to host. Master Tang is such a noble person. How can it be your turn, you trash, to talk nonsense here? I think you're tired of living." This slap was solid and powerful, resounding throughout the entire banquet hall. Everyone was also amazed. "What? The one who got hit is actually young Master Han. Heavens, Miss Song Qin actually hit the Han family's young master for a swindler? No way. I didn't see it wrong, did I?" Han Anfei's face was instantly stunned. Han Dinghua on the side also knew that things had blown up and immediately came to Song Qin's side. "Miss Song, my son is reckless and has caused you trouble. I will definitely discipline him strictly when we get back. Please be magnanimous." Song Qin glared at Han Dinghua. Han Dinghua was so frightened that he immediately shut his mouth. Don't look at Han Dinghua donating 80 million Grand Li just now, but his ability only allows him to spend this much. And the Song family donated 100 million, because the Song family just wanted to spend 100 million to buy Master Tang Yi's reputation. The strength of the two families, in the eyes of small families, both seem to be in the sky. But the real comparison is one is in the clouds and the other is in outer space. "Did I ask you to speak? What does this matter have to do with you? Master Tang is someone we painstakingly invited. His medical skills are superb, and he has saved countless people. Even our old master owes a lot to Master Tang. You are insulting Master Tang here. You are insulting the Song family. Superb medical skills?" Han Dinghua's face changed drastically. Could it be this is the divine doctor he has been looking for? Han Anfei was stunned for a moment and said, "Miss Song, you must be." Slap. Another loud slap landed on his face. The Han family father and son didn't have the slightest bit of temper. "Master Tang, how do you want to deal with this rude person?" Song Qin looked at Tang Yi, hoping to use punishing Han Anfei to calm his anger. "I don't want to see them. Let them leave." Tang Yi just wanted to quell this dispute. He still had other important things to do today. As for a clown like Han Anfei, 2 slaps plus losing all face was already enough. "Security, what are you still standing there for?" Song Qin called out. 2 bodyguards wearing sunglasses and with sturdy builds walked up behind Han Anfei, lifted his arms, and picked him up entirely. "Miss Song, please listen to me." Han Anfei's voice became more and more distant, so that later no one could hear what he was saying, only seeing the 2 bodyguards throw him out of the Song family's gate. Everyone was stunned. They hadn't even reacted to this whole misunderstanding. Chapter 25. At first, everyone thought it was a fraud, but they didn't expect it to be a deliberate frame-up. And this ordinary-looking Tang Yi was now the focus of everyone's attention, and they wanted to know who this young man was even more than Han Fei and the others. To be treated so sincerely by Song Jia, he must be a deeply hidden big shot. Chun Lanxiang, who was standing nearby, was also full of question marks. Things didn't develop as she had expected. Which part went wrong? Song Qin didn't care about the gazes of others. She came to Tang Yi's side and said with her head lowered, "Master Tang, the original intention of our Song family was to use this banquet to promote your reputation throughout Hangzhou. I didn't expect such a thing to happen. I sincerely apologize to you here. These things have absolutely nothing to do with our Song family. But I will definitely investigate thoroughly who is spreading rumors. Our Song family will tear their mouths apart." Tang Yi could clearly feel that Song Qin was really angry. He waved his hand and said, "No need. I know you meant well. Although things have come to this, I appreciate your kindness." Even so, Song Wampeng couldn't swallow his anger at the trouble caused on the Song family's territory. Song Wampeng came down from the stage as quickly as possible and stood beside Tang Yi. "Master Tang, I'm really sorry for the trouble. To express my apology, I must severely punish this troublemaking brat to vent my anger." A smile appeared on Tang Yi's face, and he waved his hand and said, "Chairman Song, I said there's no need. Since you call me Master Tang, I don't care about this kind of thing at all. Arguing with such a person would also damage my status." Yes. "Chairman Song, I have something to do, so I'll leave first." Song Wampeng frowned and asked, "Is Master Tang leaving so soon? There's still a large part of the banquet left." "Yeah, Tang," he replied calmly. Song Wampeng waved his hand and then said, "Qin, see Master Tang off properly. Be sure to apologize to Master Tang properly in the car." Song Qin nodded and made a light gesture. The two then left the room one after another. Watching Tang Yi's departing figure, Song Wampeng sighed deeply. Hopefully Master Tang is not really angry. After Chen Lanxiang and others left the banquet, they returned home. As soon as they arrived home, Gao Manyue, who had also returned, arrived at the same time. Gao Manyue's car stopped outside the villa, and she got out of the car at the same moment she saw Chen Lanxiang. She pushed open the door and came to the two of them. She immediately noticed the two palm prints on Chen Lanxiang's face, which Song Qin had slapped at the banquet today. Gao Manyue exclaimed in surprise and asked, "Mom, what's wrong with your face? Who dared to hit you?" Chen Lanxiang covered her face, feeling embarrassed to speak for a moment. Gao Manyue's worried gaze turned to Gao Qingbin, who was usually arrogant, but today he seemed to have his tail stepped on, sickly, and without any spirit. Realizing that something was wrong with the two of them, Song Qin remembered that these two had gone to a banquet today. For a moment, Gao Manyue also became nervous. "Mom, what exactly is going on?" Chen Lanxiang sighed and said, "Let's go home and talk about it." The three entered the house and sat on the sofa. Chen Lanxiang told Gao Manyue what had happened. Everyone was stunned for a long time. Gao Manyue's face was blank, and she said after a long while, "Something's not right." Chen Lanxiang also jumped up and said, "I also feel that something is wrong. Tang Yi, this former convict, has been with us for so many years. We know his details better than anyone else. How could he be involved with the Song family? In the blink of an eye, a pheasant has turned into a phoenix." Gao Manyue frowned tightly and asked, "Mom, are you sure you're not mistaken? Is that person really Tang Yi?" Chen Lanxiang nodded and said firmly, "Even if he turned to ashes, I would still be able to recognize him." Seeing Chen Lanxiang's firm gaze, Gao Manyue couldn't help but start to doubt. Could it be that her ex-husband, with whom she had been together for so long, was actually a hidden big shot? Could it be that everything he had done for her in the past was to test her? No, there's definitely something wrong. In Gao Manyue's mind, Tang Yi was just an ordinary man. Let him cook 2 dishes and that's it. And he can also treat illnesses and save people. Gao Qingbin, who was on the side, continued to say, "Mom, I feel that there is something a little strange about this kid. Today was at the Song family's banquet. If we expose him in front of the Song family, it will definitely make the Song family lose face. Even if the Song family knows that Tang Yi is a liar, they definitely won't say it publicly for the sake of their face." Chen Lanxiang was stunned for a moment and said, How is that possible? How could the Song family's face care about a liar? But Gao Manyue didn't think so. She thought for a while and said, Mom, I should still make a call to Hanan Fei. After all, this matter is related to our cooperation with the Song family. Chapter 26. In the Maybach returning to Floating Cloud Courtyard, Song Qin sat across from Tang Yi, admiring the magnanimous and quiet man. From this angle, he still appeared calm and composed, as if the previous incident hadn't left any trace of anger in him. After a long silence, Song Qin's phone suddenly rang. It was her assistant. Hello, Ms. Song. As per your instructions, I'm arranging for our team to terminate all collaborations with the Gao family. If my calculations are correct, within 2 days of us pulling out of all projects with the Gao family, they'll face bankruptcy. Song Qin hummed an acknowledgement and continued. Tell our negotiators dealing with the Gao family to be cautious. Not everyone is worth working with. Yes, ma'am. After hanging up, Song Qin sat next to Tang Yi and said softly, Master Tang, as an apology, we've rejected all cooperation with the Gao family. Our Song family wants everyone to know that there are consequences for offending you. Tang Yi knew what the Gao family would face after the Song family withdrew their cooperation. The largest projects in Gao Manyue's company were all developed under the Song family's umbrella. Although these projects were dispensable for the Song family, for the Gao family, any one of them was crucial. Moreover, all projects were being terminated at once. This would leave Gao Manyue with debts of at least tens of millions, and even the entire Gao family could end up begging on the streets. Tang Yi closed his eyes and took a deep breath. He had considered retaliating against the Gao family, but after all, he had lived with them for several years, and his feelings for Gao Manyue had been genuine. Seeing Gao Manyue go bankrupt today made him feel a pang of guilt. Tang Yi sighed and said, Ms. Song, I don't think this is necessary. Chun Lanxiang is indeed detestable, but her daughter hasn't offended you. In my opinion, as business people, there's no need to damage relationships over such a small matter. A flicker of astonishment crossed Song Qin's calm face. Master Tang, our Song family doesn't lack this money, but if they offend you, it's equivalent to offending the Song family. In my view, it's absolutely necessary to teach them a lesson. Tang Yi coughed and said, Ms. Song, you really don't need to do this. He shook his head, but even so, he didn't want to see Gao Manyue living on the streets, because he had truly loved this woman once. Do as I say. Consider it a favor I owe the Song family, Tang Yi said. Song Qin immediately became serious and said with a straight face, Master Tang, how can you say such a thing? This small matter is nothing worth mentioning. It's our Song family who owes you an immense debt of gratitude, one we may never be able to repay in our lifetime. If you have any requests in the future, please don't hesitate to instruct me. I will do my utmost to fulfill them. Tang Yi smiled and didn't go home. In the Gao family villa, Gao Manyue stood up from the sofa, holding her phone. She stared at Hanan Fei's number for a long time without dialing. Just then a call came in. The number belonged to the Song family. Due to their long-term cooperation, Gao Manyue had set a special ringtone for this number. She didn't dare to delay and immediately answered. Hello. A man's voice came from the other end, the project manager for the Song family. Ms. Gao, I'm sorry. We feel that your project isn't the best, so we're terminating all cooperation. We hope you can understand. Before Gao Manyue could react, the call ended. Gao Manyue froze, then collapsed onto the sofa, as if all her energy had been drained, her eyes vacant. Chun Lanxiang looked up. Weren't you going to call young Master Han? Why haven't you called yet? Gao Manyue's face was pale. There's no need to call anymore. Everything is over. The Song family just called. All cooperation has been terminated. With this project gone, we're going to lose at least over 90 million. What? 90 million? Upon hearing this, Chun Lanxiang's eyes rolled back, nearly fainting from shock. She widened her eyes and asked, Is there really no room for negotiation? Gao Manyue said, Once the Song family makes a decision, no one can change it. Chapter 27. Chun Lanxiang's head went blank, as if the sky had fallen. Could it be that Tang Yi was really the Song family's savior, and they had been with the Gao family for so many years without realizing it? Chun Lanxiang felt a million regrets in her heart. but she couldn't express them. Just then a phone call suddenly came in. With the ringing of the phone, everyone was surprised. It was still a call from the Song family. Chun Lanxiang leaned her head over and said, "Daughter, answer it. Maybe there's still a turning point." Gao Manyue nodded and turned on the speakerphone. "Hello, hello? Is this Miss Gao?" Our President Song thought about it and decided to give the Gao family and the Han family another chance. "We hope our cooperation can be pleasant." This time, the phone hung up quickly as before. However, joy had already appeared on Gao Manyue's face. Chun Lanxiang was even more delighted and immediately took Gao Manyue's hand, saying, "Daughter, I told you there was still a chance." But Gao Manyue looked puzzled and muttered to herself, "Why did they agree again?" Chun Lanxiang's mind raced, and she began to analyze the content of the phone call just now. This time, both the Gao family and the Han family offended the Song family. Logically speaking, the Song family shouldn't have let our Gao family off, but the Han family is also a prominent figure in Hangzhou. Perhaps the Han family said some good words in between and solved the matter for our Gao family in passing. Otherwise, why would the phone call mention the Han family in passing? Listening to Chun Lanxiang's analysis, Gao Manyue nodded deeply. But since the Song family respects Tang Yi so much, yet. At this moment, Chun Lanxiang's face changed. "Don't mention that white-eyed wolf to me. He must have deceived the Song family. It's just that the Song family didn't want to expose him at the banquet, just putting on a show and pretending to break with the Han family. In fact, behind the scenes, they might have already punished that ex-convict properly." Gao Manyue bit her red lip lightly. At this time, Chun Lanxiang said from the side, "Daughter, I think you should call young Master Han and ask. After all, young Master Han put in a lot of effort at the banquet today." "Okay, Mom, I'll call now." Gao Manyue took out her phone and dialed Han Anfei's phone number. Han Anfei, on the other end of the phone, seemed to have a depressed voice. It seemed he was still brooding over what happened at the banquet. It was understandable. After all, offending such a large family like the Song family, even the Han family must be at a loss now. "Hello, Ye. What are you calling for now?" Gao Manyue said with a grateful smile. "Young Master Han, this time it's really thanks to you. Otherwise the Song family would have been deceived, and even we would have suffered." Han Anfei on the other end of the phone was silent for a long time, and then asked in a daze, "What do you mean? Young Master Han, do you still need to pretend with me? Wasn't it your Han family's effort that made the Song family forgive us? And just now the Song family called to inform us that they will let bygones be bygones with our three families." "What? You said the Song family forgave us?" "Yes, isn't this all your credit?" Han Anfei on the other end of the phone was silent for a long time. After a long while, he then said, "So you found out. I'm not someone who likes to show off, but yeah, for you I am willing to give more. Even if it means offending the Song family, I will not hesitate." Gao Manyue was deeply moved when she heard these words. Compared with Han Anfei, her ex-husband who had been together for several years actually used all means, even resorting to deception, to retaliate against them. And Han Anfei took risks, willing to offend a large family like the Song family for the sake of the Gao family. Gao Manyue saw everything he did. At this moment, she believed that the person on the other end of the phone must be a reliable good man. "Thank you, young Master Han." Han Anfei continued. "Yeah. Why are you thanking me? I just want you to know that I'm the only one in this world who likes you the most. As for your ex-husband, I don't think he is a good person, and you shouldn't look for him again in the future." After the two hung up the phone, Chun Lanxiang completely breathed a sigh of relief. Then suddenly sat up again, saying with a ferocious face, "Tang Yi, that bastard, I haven't settled accounts with him yet. This liar actually dared to harm our Gao family. One day, I will make him wish he were dead." Seeing Chun Lanxiang so angry, this time Gao Manyue didn't say anything. Indeed, this time Tang Yi went too far, and the Gao family almost lost their years of struggle. Chun Lanxiang picked up her bag and went upstairs to the second floor. She was also exhausted today. Gao Chengbin followed suit, leaving only Gao Manyue alone in the empty living room. She looked at Tang Yi's phone number in her phone. She hesitated for a long time. She wanted to call and ask. Why? Why did he want to frame their Gao family? Looking at this phone number, Gao Manyue's heart was extremely tormented at this moment. She had once thought that when the Gao family became bigger and stronger one day, she would bring Tang Yi back. However, his current behavior really disappointed Gao Manyue. She didn't expect that in just 3 years, he had learned to deceive and swindle such low-down methods. The honest Tang Yi of the past was gone forever. Alas, the world is truly impermanent. And Tang Yi in the car, after Song Qin let the Gao family go, also let out a long sigh of relief. Chapter 28. Unexpectedly, the one who ultimately saved the Gao family was this ex-husband who had been driven out by them. How ironic and laughable this matter would sound if spoken aloud. But all of this was unimportant. He only needed to ensure he was clear in his conscience. Looking at the scenery rushing past outside the window, Tang Yi sighed deeply. Let the past be the past. Song Qin, who was beside him, seemed to hear something, but didn't clearly catch what Tang Yi had just said. She raised her head and softly asked, Master Tang, what did you just say? Nothing. Just thank you for letting the Gao family off. Song Qin smiled charmingly, her 2 bright eyes fixed on Tang Yi. Master Tang, this is nothing. As long as you are willing, our Song family is still willing to do even more for you. Tang Yi just smiled calmly and didn't respond to Song Qin's words. In his view, it was just a one-time help to the Song family, and afterwards, there would be no further connection between them, nor was there any need to owe each other favors. Just then, a phone call suddenly came in, interrupting Tang Yi's train of thought. Tang Yi took out his phone from his pocket, and when he saw the phone number on the screen, he was instantly stunned. His heart was slightly touched. He calmly answered the call. Before Tang Yi could speak, Gao Manyue's furious voice came from the other end of the phone. Tang Yi, where have we Gao family wronged you? Do you have to use such underhanded means to harm our Gao family? Tang Yi was taken aback and frowned. He didn't know if Gao Manyue had taken the wrong medicine or was just being unreasonable. What do you mean? Gao Manyue chuckled and said, What do I mean? Tang Yi, I want to ask you, what do you mean? I ask you, when we divorced, didn't I give you a sum of money and also give you the Gao family's most profitable coffee shop? You were the one who didn't want those things yourself. I thought we were even, but you didn't need to deceive the Song family to retaliate against us, did you? Tang Yi was completely confused at this moment. He took a breath and said calmly, Do I need to do that? Now it's not a question of whether you need to, but you've already done it. I really didn't expect it. In just 3 years, I thought you would have grown in prison, but I didn't expect you to not learn anything good, and instead learn to be so despicable and shameless. Who couldn't you deceive? But you had to deceive the Song family. Deceiving them for money is one thing, but why did you have to drag our Gao family into it? Gao Manyue became even more annoyed when she saw that Tang Yi still didn't admit it. However, Tang Yi, being unjustly accused at this moment, immediately became angry. Gao Manyue, explain yourself clearly. Where have I wronged your Gao family? How the hell am I despicable and shameless? Gao Manyue took a deep breath and said, Fine. Since you want me to explain clearly, then listen carefully. Tang Yi, after you were released from prison, I divorced you, and you were resentful. Although you outwardly refused my compensation, you secretly deceived the Song family's trust. I've been with you for so many years and never knew you could heal people. Now you're pretending to be the Song family's miracle doctor, using the Song family to deal with our Gao family. Do you know? I almost suffered utter destruction. Thanks to Han Anfei, young master of the Han family. If it weren't for him protecting me at this critical juncture, even at the cost of offending the Song family, I would already be wandering the streets. Tang Yi, you are so ruthless. Tang Yi's face turned ashen when he heard this. At this moment, he finally realized that it was Han Anfei who was playing tricks, taking all the credit for himself. Tang Yi had never been so angry before, never expecting this kid to be so bold. Playing with fire on his head. Who did you hear this from? Humph. Does it matter who I heard it from? Are you going to retaliate against others again? Gao Manyue said coldly. Tang Yi on the other end of the phone instantly calmed down and said, Let me tell you, the one who is truly being deceived is actually you. I really find it hilarious. We've known each other for so many years. Others may not know my character, but you don't know? Are you so foolish that you would rather believe other people's few words than believe yourself? Gao Manyue was completely disappointed in Tang Yi. He didn't expect that even at this point, he was still unwilling to admit it. If Tang Ye said a soft word now, even just the truth, she would believe that there was still hope for Tang Ye. However, at this point, she didn't know what to say. Tang Ye, the current me, is indeed very unclear about you. I no longer know why you have become like this. Could it be? Could it be that you hate me so much? Do you hate Han Anfei pursuing me so much? If you had been even a little useful back then, we wouldn't have ended up like this. Tang Ye felt a sharp pain in his heart when he heard these words. He didn't expect that after doing so much, he was still looked down upon by Gao Manyue. However, from her words just now, Tang Ye also understood. Han Anfei, this kid, actually dared to stab him in the back. It seemed that letting him go today was really a wrong choice, and he could only blame himself for being soft-hearted. Tang Ye cleared his throat and said, I know that no matter what I say now, you won't listen. But as things stand, I still want to tell you. There was no deception between me and the Song family. I don't know how you see me, but the one who made the Song family continue to cooperate with the Gao family was not Han Anfei, but Tang Ye decided to tell Gao Manyue the truth. This misunderstanding should not exist and cannot exist between them. At least, they should be clear and innocent with each other. Even if they were separated, they shouldn't hate each other so much. But just then a white minivan crashed in from the side. This extended Maybach was hit against the wall, and the phone in his hand flew out at that moment. Chapter 29. Fortunately, the car was spacious, and neither of them was seriously injured. Tang Ye supported Song Xin, who had lost her balance and nearly fallen. Miss Song, are you all right? Song Xin shook her head. I'm fine. She then turned to the driver, her voice stern. How were you driving? At that moment, a gunshot rang out from outside, and the windshield shattered. A bullet whizzed past Tang Ye's head, missing a precise headshot by mere millimeters. Song Xin screamed and hid in Tang Ye's arms. Ah! Tang Ye kicked open the car door, grabbed Song Xin's hand, and quickly ran. They heard two men talking behind the car. Lao Hei, don't let them get away. We got paid a lot for this. If we fail, we're done for. The two men wore black leather jackets and masks, each holding a desert eagle. They opened the car doors to find it empty. Tang Ye and Song Xin had already escaped. Driven by survival instinct, Tang Ye pulled Song Xin into a nearby alley. Once there, seeing that they weren't being pursued, he breathed a sigh of relief. Song Xin leaned against the grimy wall, gasping for breath. Too shaken to cry, she finally asked, Who are they? Why are they after us? Tang Ye's expression grew serious. I'm not sure. Let's get out of here. We'll talk when we're safe. Okay. Song Xin nodded. As they were about to leave, they saw another man standing at the other end of the dark, damp alley. He was tall and thin, his eyes filled with murderous intent, his gun pointed directly at them. At the same time, the two men in leather jackets caught up, blocking their escape. Tang Ye looked at the thin man and asked coldly, Who are you? A smug grin spread across the man's face. You're about to die. What does it matter? I never thought that old man Song, already on his way to the afterlife, would be saved by you. I didn't realize you were so capable. But today, you won't escape, even if you sprout wings. Song Xin suddenly understood. Hearing him mention her grandfather, she realized these men were connected to the poisoning. Why did you harm my grandfather? Our Song family hasn't offended anyone. If there's a grudge, please tell us. We'll do our best to resolve it. The man scoffed, his eyes fixed on Tang Ye. Kid, we don't want anything. If you come with us, I promise you'll live. And we'll let this beautiful young lady go, too. Tang Ye realized they were after him. This was more complicated than he thought, but he wasn't about to go with these thugs. You're not worthy of making me move. His words stunned the three men. Then they burst into laughter. Ha ha ha. Kid, do you recognize what we're holding? That earlier shot wasn't a joke. Think carefully before you answer. The next one won't miss. Lao Hei, the man behind him, hefted his gun, disdainful of Tang Ye's bravado. Tang Ye looked at Song Xin. Her eyes showed no desire to trade his life for her own. He whispered, Miss Song, are you afraid? Song Xin paused, standing beside Tang Ye. Her fear was replaced by a distraught beauty. Master Tang, with you here, I'm not afraid. Looking at Tang Ye's back, she was struck by his calmness and composure. Even now, he was captivating. The thin man raised his arm. "What are you two whispering about? I'm telling you, either come with us, or taste the power of these bullets." Tang Yi straightened, a cold smile playing on his lips. You should go home and practice for a few more years. You can't even hold a gun steady. How dare you act tough? You. The man was enraged. You're asking for it. You must be tired of living. Bang! The man fired without hesitation. Song Xian's heart leaped at the sound. Though terrified, she felt that dying with a man like Tang Yi wouldn't be so bad. As the bullet sliced through the air towards Tang Yi, he smiled faintly. Seeing the man's grip, he couldn't help but scoff inwardly. With that aim, he should stick to video games. He'd starve as a hitman. Tang Yi stood perfectly still. The bullet struck Lao He behind him, killing him instantly. The shooter stared in disbelief. The other man in the leather jacket raised his gun, aiming for Tang Yi from behind. Spotting a brick by a trash can, Tang Yi grabbed it and swung, knocking the gun from the man's hand. He flipped, snatched the fallen gun, and without a moment's hesitation, shot the man in the head. The man in the alley fired, but Tang Yi tackled Song Xian, using the trash can as cover to avoid hitting her. The man fired 3 more shots, all hitting the trash can. He was completely bewildered. He hadn't expected Tang Yi to remain so calm and collected under pressure. The first shot had been deliberate, meant to scare him. But Tang Yi showed no fear. His eyes held absolute confidence that he could escape. The killer sensed something was wrong, but couldn't pinpoint it. He was out of bullets. He pulled a clip from his pants to reload. In that instant, Tang Yi vaulted over the trash can. Mid-air, he fired, hitting the man squarely between the eyes. The killer never imagined he'd be killed by a doctor. He fell straight back, eyes wide open in death. He would never understand how Tang Yi had turned the tables. Chapter 30. They left the alley and returned to the damaged car. The extended Maybach, though not severely damaged, was no longer suitable for someone of Miss Songqin's status. She made a call and requested another car. Meanwhile, Tang Yi stood behind her, looking back at the alley. He considered their objective. They had intended to abduct him. Given their previous attack on old Mr. Song, it was unlikely they were working for someone Tang Yi would ever meet. These assassins were merely small fry. Killing them wouldn't eliminate the real threat. The priority was to identify the person behind it all. After ending the call, Songqin turned to Tang Yi. "Master Tang, what are you thinking about?" Tang Yi shook his head. "Nothing, just pondering their motive." Songqin thought for a moment. Their initial goal was to poison grandfather. If anything happened to him, the entire Song family would be in trouble. So, that's their motive. Tang Yi's eyes darkened. Indeed, old Mr. Song's existence impacted many people. However, this was only one motive. Their attempt to take Tang Yi might have been to prevent him from treating old Mr. Song again. If something were to happen to the old man, the person who would benefit most within the Song family was likely Song Wampung. But Song Wampung wouldn't risk the family's future. If old Mr. Song were truly gone, Song Wampung lacked the connections to support the Song family. Tang Yi calmly asked, "Has the Song family offended anyone else in Hangzhou?" Songqin couldn't immediately answer. Not because she was unwilling, but because she genuinely didn't know. The Song family was vast, and sometimes snatching a couple of projects could offend the entire city. However, these people wouldn't dare speak openly, and the family remained unaware of any behind-the-scenes maneuvers. After a pause, Songqin said, "Master, I'm truly not sure. After all, over so many years, from grandfather's youth to now, generations have passed. They might have offended a great many people." Tang Yi nodded in understanding. Business disputes were agreements on the surface, but underneath, they often involved bloodshed. He had long seen through this and didn't press further. He was merely curious why the assassins wanted him to leave with them today. It seemed illogical. His life or death had little to do with the Song family. The only connection was that he had saved old Mr. Song's life. At that moment, Songqin's new car arrived. The Song family was indeed wealthy. One Maybach destroyed, another brand new one immediately replaced it. The car stopped before them, and 5 or 6 bodyguards emerged. It seemed Song Qin had been frightened by the events and specifically requested extra protection. "Miss Song, are you all right?" A bodyguard asked apologetically, head bowed. Song Qin's face was cold. "Would I be standing here if I wasn't?" She continued. "The Song family spends a fortune on you every month, not for you to eat for free. You need to be useful when it matters." "Yes, yes, yes." The bodyguards lowered their heads, listening to her scolding. After a short reprimand, Song Qin seemed tired. She gestured to Tang Yi, inviting him into the car. Tang Yi smiled. Inside, Song Qin sat beside him, her face pale, seemingly still shaken. If such an incident were to happen again, they might not be so lucky. Regardless of who the assassins were targeting, it was unsafe. Song Qin looked at the silent Tang Yi with worry. "Master Tang, do you think there will be more assassins?" Tang Yi nodded. With a mixture of anxiety and a subtle blush, Song Qin asked, "Master, what should we do next?" The blush came from the slight awkwardness of a woman asking for protection from a man. However, she had always admired him. His calmness in the face of 3 assassins had impressed her. He seemed to exude a natural sense of security. "No," Tang Yi refused without hesitation. Song Qin was taken aback. So blunt. Not even a second consideration? Even if he refused, shouldn't he hesitate for a moment, especially considering she was a beautiful and successful CEO? Tang Yi turned, his gaze cold. "I have no reason to continue protecting you." His words were logical. He had only agreed to save her grandfather. They shouldn't have had further interaction, but the Song family had persistently pursued him. However, as a sharp CEO, her mind worked quickly. "Master Tang, I presume you also want to uncover these people's origins. Whether their target is the Song family or you, we are currently on the same side. I sincerely hope you can assist us." The Song family would be eternally grateful. Tang Yi considered this. He also wanted to know who was bold enough to attack him. He wouldn't be satisfied until he dealt with them. Even if he desired a peaceful life, he still needed to eliminate those who interfered with it. He sighed. "We have a temporary partnership. During this time, I will protect you, but not as a bodyguard." The bodyguards in the car were stunned. Not a bodyguard? Was being a bodyguard beneath him? Dressed so shabbily, if not for luck, he'd be a bodyguard himself. "Who is this guy?" one whispered. "So arrogant. You don't know him? He was introduced at the banquet this morning." "Him? Seriously?" The bodyguards muttered among themselves, feeling utterly unbalanced. Song Qin retrieved a bottle of champagne from the car's cabinet, poured a glass for Tang Yi, and handed it to him. Raising her glass, she smiled. "To a successful partnership."